closely before in studies in 2009, 2010, but these studies did not address the questions about Oswald's foes. In the new study, Farid and his team conducted 3D stability analysis, concluding that, in fact, Oswald's stance does not support the claims of photo tampering. The study appeared in the Journal of Digital Forensic Security Law. So it seems like in 2009 and in 2010, they thought it was murky. And then they got that Chinese money. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Go back to the photo again. But here's the thing, it's like, why wouldn't he pose like that? The guy was a psycho.
Yeah.
I mean, Lee Harvey Oswald was a mess, period, and probably an agent.
They think was fake.
I don't know. I think they thought that it was someone else standing there like that. Yeah, I think there was some argument about the proportions of the body that didn't quite match Lee Harvey. Yeah, 2 tickets. Imagine if tickets are that big. Jeez.
Yeah.
They used to be. Probably wasn't.
Yeah, especially back in the day. No, it's that's the thing with because
They definitely killed him.
yeah,
Wasn't just one guy.
when you put forward that theory where you go, this feels sus, and then they never released the documents. I think it was time, wasn't it? Still, and Trump.
Why didn't Trump release them?
No, he was going to, and he said he was, and then he never did.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Why didn't he?
I think his direct quote was, if they showed you what they showed me, you wouldn't release it either.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means it's probably proof that someone that is trackable had Kennedy assassinated, and there was a conspiracy, probably involving at least some members of the intelligence agency.
So why wouldn't?
Because then it would call into, people would lose confidence entirely in the intelligence agencies. If they knew that the intelligence agencies had not just gotten rid of Richard Nixon, which Tucker explained, I'm sorry I saw that. That's a wild thing to know, that a guy was a naval intelligence officer gets a job as a reporter, and his first job as like an aspiring reporter is you get the biggest story in fucking United States history, and that CIA agents broke into Watergate, and that the guy who they had put into position as the vice president, Gerald Ford, was the guy who was on the Warren Commission report, and that Spiro Agnew, who was the real vice president, they got him on tax evasion and locked him up. Like, it seems like a coup. That Woodward was getting his information from the FBI. Like, the whole thing was wild. When you hear about it that way, when like the way Tucker laid it out, you're like, whoa. So they killed Kennedy, and apparently what Tucker was saying is that Nixon had said that he knew why they killed JFK. And that was the head of the CIA he was talking to? Is that what it was at the time? Did not respond at all. And then next thing you know, within a short amount of time, Nixon's out.
Wow.
I guess what I'm asking, Joe, is surely not releasing it undermines confidence as well.
It certainly does, but not as much. Because it's still a mystery. So it maintains a mystery. It's been a mystery since we were kids. It was the first conspiracy that I ever got into. I was in New York and a friend of mine gave me a book. He said, you gotta read this. It's called Best Evidence by David Lipton. And it's all about this guy who was an accountant, went over the Warren Commission, and he found all these real problems with it, all these contradictions, and it didn't make any sense for all these together. No one thought anyone was actually reading the entire Warren. It was like 9,000 pages. And he did. And there's a lot of problems with it. The big one for me was always the bullet. The bullet's ridiculous. The bullet's ridiculous. That bullet did not go through two fucking people and come out looking like that. That's not happening. Bullets get destroyed. They get blown apart. They get fucking... They've never been able to shoot a bullet through two people's bodies and have it ricochet and move around like that and not destroy it. It looked like they just shot it. So they shot it into a... It doesn't look anything like something that shattered bones. And they found evidence of like fragments in Conway's wrist. There's not fragments missing. There's nothing fragments missing from this magic bullet. They found the magic bullet at all. They had to come up with this theory because a guy had gotten hit by a ricochet in the underpass. So then they had to attribute all these different wounds to the wounds on the and bullets do weird shit. The path of the bullet doesn't bother me as much. When people say, like, bullet's not going to go here and here and here, yeah, it would. Yeah, they do. You can shoot someone in the eye and the bullet will bounce around inside their head and come out their face. Things happen with bullets and guns. That doesn't bother me as much. But the idea that you're completely dismissing the fact that he grabs his neck in the beginning and then like what's going on? Is he getting shot from behind and it's a spinal movement? It's like a shock nerve thing? Perhaps. Or perhaps he's getting shot in the head by two different people too. It could be someone from behind and someone. There could be like a whole line of fire where they're shooting on this guy. And the only reason why they tried to attribute those shooting is because they wanted one conclusion, and that was Lee Harvey Oswald did it. And they didn't think he could shoot in that short amount of time.
Do you think Trump said, if I knew, what did he say? If you knew what I knew, you wouldn't want me to release it either, right? Do you think that
He said that to someone, and then that someone, you know who it was? That guy who was the Fox legal analyst, an older gentleman.
But Scaramouche?
No, not Scaramouche. He's a guy that was like a legal guy. He had a conversation with Trump. Where he said that Trump said that he wouldn't release these.
Do you think they'll ever release it?
Do you think it's kind of this principle where there's a thread on the sweater? If you pull the thread, the sweater unravels. Do you think that America as a country wouldn't be able to take the reveal of whatever happened, because it would then go on to undermine people's faith in the nation too much? Because if an organized agency like the CIA can go and kill the President of the United States, cover it up for however many years, then what else is possible? And what does that mean in people who believe in this country?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. And then how much scrutiny would the intelligence agencies of today have to do? From the we know, right? We know that they put crowds of protesters. We know that for a fact. Okay, but what do those agents do? Are those agents there in case things go sideways, or are those agents making sure things go sideways? Because those are two very different things. So we know both of those things happen. We know that they definitely that if something happens, there's a law enforcement presence, they can arrest people. We also know that there are rogue agents that will get into these situations, whether it's their job or whether it's they just act on their own, or they want to cause someone to do a crime so they can bust them. We know that's real. It's agent provocateurs. It's a legitimate strategy. It's always been.
Yeah, and it happens in other countries as well.
Happens
Like all governments do.
All governments do. Agent provocateurs, false flags, all those things are real.
Yeah.
The Northwoods report, which Kennedy vetoed. Operation Northwoods, they were going to blow up a fucking drone jetliner and blame it on the Cubans. They were going to arm Cuban friendlies, fuck up Guantanamo Bay. They were just going to try to get us to war with Cuba by bullshit. And this was the Joint Chiefs of Staff. They signed off on it. They're like, sounds good. I like it. Good plan. Solid plan. And the argument against it is, well, they draft a lot of different plans. And that one got vetoed, obviously. Like, what? But no, you can't. You can't lie. You can't say one of our plans is to lie. No, don't lie. Like, that shouldn't be on the table. You shouldn't be able to lie to people. Not just lie, but set up fake attacks. Especially after you just did it in Vietnam. They did it and got away with it. The Gulf of Tonkin. They got us into Vietnam. So they've always been doing that. And so if they came out and gave us all the information on the Kennedy assassination, it would cause an erosion in our faith in government that has never been seen before. And I don't know how we would survive it. I mean, maybe they're right. Maybe keep it quiet. Maybe don't do it anymore. But maybe keep it quiet. Because if you do release that information, I bet the only thing that makes sense is the death of this.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that it's innocuous and there's nothing to it. You hardly also all that alone. They would release that.
That's for sure. Well, there's definitely something going on in the question.
That's the dude. Yeah.
It's a
Napolitano.
joke, isn't it? Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about Trump is that you listen to what that guy said. He went, yeah, Trump definitely said that.
but they hide things from Trump too. Apparently, they were hiding the Chinese weather balloons. They were hiding the spy balloons from him because they were afraid he was going to shoot them down. Find out if that's true. I might have seen that on Reddit. I might have been on our conspiracy.
Oh, man. Imagine knowing Trump, he'd try and do it himself as well.
That's not shocking.
No.
I think he'd be up there in a helicopter with a fucking missile launcher himself. I've got the best accuracy. They've never seen accuracy like this before. Boom.
He died like a dog. He'd finish with that. He died like a dog.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 Chinese balloons flew over U.S. during Trump presidency. Trump wasn't offered a chance to shoot them down at the time. It's true.
Fucking insane.
Yeah.
Trump wasn't. I like how they say they hid it from him. This is how they say they hid it from him. Trump wasn't offered chance to shoot them down at the time. He wasn't offered the chance.
Because they knew what would happen.
They didn't tell him that he could shoot him down.
That's so funny, man.
They're hiding that from the. They don't trust the president, and they're hiding that. That's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's
Well,
fucking. Who the fuck are they?
Who the
Like,
fuck
no,
are
who voted for them?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. But when you get a guy like Trump who becomes president, it seems so ridiculous that he's president. All rules go out the window.
Yeah, but
That's the
fuck you.
danger.
Half the country voted for this guy.
100%.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Look, I probably wouldn't have voted for Trump in 2016, but half the country did. It was like the same with Brexit. They tried. We didn't vote for Brexit, but half the country did.
Yeah.
That's what democracy looks like. Is sometimes you don't get your way.
Yeah.
How fucking complicated is that to understand?
Yeah, but if you're a corrupt piece of shit and you're very un-American, then you feel like you should be able to do that.
Or frame it another way. If you believe that this guy is such a danger to democracy,
Right.
that's how you argue it with yourself. That's
Hitler.
how you square. You go, look, I'm doing the right thing here. I'm protecting my country. I'm stepping in when this person is clearly, not fit to hold office, blah, blah. I'm not saying I agree with it.
That's the real problem with the real misinformation media narrative, like the Russia collusion hoax.
Oh man.
That's a real problem because that, in so many boomers' minds, that guy was corrupt. Russia had something on him. There was the Steele dossier, his hookers and PP and all that stuff. Pentagon may have purposely hidden spy balloon from Trump.
So Republican representative from Florida made the claim.
He made the claim, but what was that other article's quote? That Trump wasn't offered the opportunity to shoot it down.
That's false.
What was the source of that?
This is so. He's saying this because Trump denied that it even happened under his administration.
Oh, but it did. But they did happen. So they didn't tell him.
So they just don't.
Or he lied.
That's what this is. He spoke.
That
to
would never
someone
happen.
that
I don't think so.
says some speculation.
And there's some speculation. I talked to Trump, the White House officials over the weekend, that the Pentagon deliberately did it because they thought Trump would be too provocative and too aggressive. So, yeah. But it's amazing that they think that they could tell him that. But listen, that's the whole idea. If you really want to have a president, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is how AI is going to take over. AI is going to be so much more reasonable how it runs a country. Just give in to Microsoft AI.
One thing, if you really want to blow your own mind with this, is if you think about where the large language models are getting their information from, where the AI is gathering its opinions about what human beings are. We all know that everything that happens online is not representative of the real world. But that is where the AI models are gathering their information. That's what they're reading, what people are writing online. So we are training these systems to think of us as the online shit that we all know is fake. We all know people don't talk online the way they talk like in person, right? We all know that everything that happens there is a warped perception of reality. Yet that is exactly what AI is learning about who we are.
But don't you think that the Google AI is a little bit more sinister than that? I don't think it's as simple as it's just getting all of its information online, because then there would be arguments. Like,
Right.
there's a lot of arguments online as to whether or not, trans women should be able to compete in women's sports.
Yeah.
But if you ask those AIs, they come up with reasons why it should.
Yeah.
And if you have an ideologically programmed AI, that's not really AI. It's kind of like a propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's not just looking at the opinions of all the people online.
No.
It's just not.
No. What there is, I think, is probably just because most of the people who are doing the programming are thinking that way. To them, this isn't
100%.
this isn't ideological to them. It's the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
They have
Exactly.
the truth. They know what it is. Hashtag no debate.
Yeah,
Hashtag
Yeah.
no point debating. No point discussing. We know what the truth is, and anyone who disagrees with us, they're far right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do we do with people who are far right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cancel them. Put them in jail.
Cancel or put them in jail, or maybe we need a final solution, Joe. Well, if somebody is gender critical, maybe they just need to be put somewhere permanently.
Well, they certainly shouldn't be allowed to work.
No, absolutely.
It's so funny. These people went so far. They're like, they think J.K. Rowling is a Nazi. And they still haven't woken up. They still haven't gone, maybe there's something wrong with our argument if J.K. Rowling is on the other team. It's like,
Oh man, it's so funny. Did you see this tweet? From
she's
this
a beast, though, man. She's going at it.
Yeah,
man,
she's going
She's
at
dug
it.
her heels in.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
There's this left-wing journalist, I'm not going to say the name, but her tweet made me laugh so much. She put out this tweet going, I am writing this tweet to apologise. On March the 13th, I called J.K. Rowling a Holocaust denier. It's just like... because
Holocaust. Why did she call her that?
Because in her mind, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
If you say trans women aren't women, you also say Auschwitz didn't happen.
And I feel so strongly about it as someone who lost relatives in the Holocaust. What they've done to those words, Holocaust denier, Nazi, far right, is abominable. It really is. What they have done to those words, the way they've diluted the meaning of these words that have very specific meanings, it's horrific. And it's, by the way, it's costing us now because we can't have a genuine conversation about, like, some people are Holocaust deniers. Some people are actually supportive of those ideologies, right? And you have to be able to distinguish between that and someone who thinks trans women shouldn't be fighting in a cage with real women. There's like some fucking difference there. There's a gap between
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little
bit of a gap.
And words like they have a meaning for a purpose, so that we can have a conversation.
Yeah, it's such an important point. And the worst bit is you have these people who are genuinely far right. They're terrifying. They have these awful views. And then when they're challenged, they go, I'm not far right because you've said this person is far right. That term doesn't mean anything. And you're like, you know what, Adolf? You've got a point, mate.
Yeah, it's a real problem because
That's going to get clipped, mate.
But far-right people, dangerous far-right people, are real. Just like dangerous far-left people are real. And that's why being on this goofy team, left or right, is so stupid.
You got to think for yourself.
Yeah.
You got to think for yourself.
Yeah.
And life is complicated and full of complexity and nuance, and nobody has the full picture of reality. That's why you got to talk.
That's why you need Jesus.
I mean, that's what Jordan's talking about. That's
Yeah.
what Jordan's talking
Yeah,
about.
he is. Well, structure, some kind of divine structure, something, whatever it is. I mean, I know a lot of people that are Muslims that are very happy, and they're happy because of the discipline that gives them. They believe, it gives them a structure. And a lot of people out there don't have that, and I don't think that's good either.
No.
He's really in the Inquirer of it. His current source called We Who Wrestle with God. And he's really, I mean, what he's really doing is telling people stories from the Bible and illustrating and breaking down how they apply to your life. And it's amazing. I mean, I'm not a believer. Well, yeah, I'm not, I guess. But seeing the difference that makes to people, just him telling them how to live a good life. Thousands of people every day. They aren't there for his like culture war takes.
Right.
They aren't there to see him take down Justin Trudeau or whatever. They're there because he's like, we were in a cigar bar in Tulsa with the guy that does the music there. And the guy that was at the show started talking, and before we knew it, there was like 3 guys there, and I remember one of them especially, Devin, black guy. He was saying, like, I don't know about politics. People say, Jordan Peterson. I've been hearing those stories every time, man.
Well, he has a very profound impact, for sure. Yeah. And he also struggles with pain. Which is a weird thing to be introduced to when you're in the business.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's how unfair it is the way, I would take real exception to this, the way that he's been portrayed, where people go, he's just like Andrew Tate. And he's going,
Yeah, he's got a penis.
yeah,
He would drink water.
yeah,
Same thing.
Yeah, man, it's insane. But you know what? I have to say, from what I've observed over the last couple of weeks, he's on the other side of all the troubles. Yeah, his message and the person is so closely aligned. Like he's a great man.
He is great. And last time he was here, he was like at his best. He struggled coming back from the benzodiazepine problem. That's a scary one, man. It's a really scary one.
You know, he's through that, and like just observing him day to day, because you know when you spend time with people, you see them at their worst
Yes.
and at their best.
Yes.
I've never met anyone who's inspired me as much to like be a good person.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always say this. See, like, Jordan Peterson thing, I'll read what people have to say about it. It's again, it's also the kind of people that post things. That's not generally a healthy person. It's supposed to be aggressively shitty, misrepresenting, but it's like very common that there's especially Twitter they're in these places that just encourage mental illness. There's a lot of them there.
yeah.
But here's the thing though, man, in the real world, he's selling out fucking basketball arenas, and it's full of well-dressed people who are there with their partner that they met because of the advice he gave them, or they're there to live themselves, or they've got a job or whatever. That's the impact on people's lives, and it's so impressive.
Yeah, we need
We need way more like that.
yeah, we need more people that fascinating example of
The problem is that we live in a world of shortcuts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want an online following, we all know what we can do in order to get an online following. It's not particularly hard. You can game the system. You know the tweaks to write that will then, you know, gain traction, which will gain you followers anywhere else. You know what you have to do if you want to create content online when it comes to podcasts that will get people. You all know it.
Yeah.
But actually, it's far, far, far more difficult to be authentic and to actually say, you know what, I'm going to do something because it's the right thing to do. Not because it's going to benefit me in the short term. Not because it's going to lead to certain things. Not because it's going to lead me to this particular place where my ego demands that I should be. I'm actually going to take the long route. I'm going to do what's right. And we live in a society where we're constantly being offered all this. And we know that if we take the shortcut, we're going to get a little bit of a response from our brain. We'll go, well done, I'm taking the shortcut. It takes a hell of a lot of discipline, hard work, and sometimes real frustration to go, I'm not going to take the shortcut. I'm not going to be a I'm not going to say things that I know will guarantee clicks and more money and more revenue. I'm going to go this path. I just have to have the courage of my own convictions that where this path will lead me will be somewhere where I want to be, as opposed to somewhere that I know definitely in the long term will take me on the route to hell, because that's where some people are.
It's so interesting you said hell. When people are talking about heaven, he always brings it back to heaven and hell. And what he's really saying is, like, every decision you make, when you know it's the wrong decision, you're going to pay for that. Not in some fucking magic world afterwards when you're dead. You're going to pay for that in this life.
Yeah.
And when you make good decisions, that's not to say that good things don't happen to bad people and bad things don't happen to good people. But over the course of a lifetime, every bad decision you make will come back. And we all know this is true. Like, it's a kind of, what you're talking about is the opposite of the marshmallow test, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the ability to suspend gratification is the best predictor of long-term success, right? And so if you're able to just wait and not jump on this dopamine hit right now, over the course of your life, that will be rewarded. And that's basically the model he's giving people. Just be good. You know what, you know, and his argument is you do need God. His definition of God is different to most people. But it's fundamentally, he's just going around telling people how to live their lives in a positive way. It's
How is it different? Because view of God.
it's very difficult to get to it. He doesn't like being asked if he believes in God because his thing is like, well, what you're doing is you're saying like there's a God and gnome in the sky. Do you believe in that? And it's a way of trivializing his belief about it. You'd have to ask him directly, but I think him and I have gone back and forth. He really brought me over to argue with him and try and challenge his ideas from just an outside perspective. So we've gone back and forth on it. I think his idea is that the way he talks about it is like God is the opposite of evil. God is how you know what is right and what is wrong, and it's something that leads you up instead of leading you down. That's what he thinks of as God. It's like the fundamental question is, where does morality come from? And his argument is the evolutionary theory may well be true, but it's insufficient, particularly insufficient to give us meaning and for the West to survive. How do you survive? How does a civilization of people who don't know what they believe in survive in the battle of civilization with people who do know what they believe in, who have a strong idea? Well, you mentioned, Islam, for example, right? How do you navigate that when you don't know what you believe in, when you don't know what you stand for? And you can't even say not believing in free speech is un-American.
Yeah.
How do you, if you've got no values of your own, how are you going to navigate the world in that way, right? And so his argument is very much that we need to be inspired by something divine to be our best selves and to know who we are.
That's such a profound thing, because when people say to be inspired by the divine, they automatically think of God. But the reality is you can find God anywhere. You to be inspired by the divine, for me, it's to be the thing that I love the most is to be creative, is to write, is to be in that moment where you are writing and you're like, oh, this idea and this idea and this idea, and you feel whatever, disregard the end product. But that moment is to be divine because you are truly at one with what you are, who you are, and what you love and you are passionate about the most. That is the divine. Now, for somebody else, it can be another type of thing. But
love would be a big part of it. Like when you are in love and you're truly present with the person you love, it kind of feels infinite.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that moment is, you can't exactly be measured in time. You can't go, oh, that was 63 seconds where we stared into each other's eyes and said nothing, or whatever that was, right? And I think part of it's exactly what you're saying, is there are these states that we go into in relation to ourselves and to other people that transcend the reality in which we exist. And I think that may well be a part of his, you have to ask him because these are complicated, but it's kind of part of his definition of what God is.
yeah, because I think deep down that's what we're all looking for, really, is to be in this state where we're not thinking about ourselves. Because thinking about yourselves is why we're so miserable. Because we're being trained continually, going on social media, doing this. What am I doing? Myself. That's the way to end up perpetually, thoroughly miserable and a version of hell.
Yeah.
But to be in a state where you are creating, where you are doing something that you love, where you are with people that you love, where you're with your children, your wife, your partner, whoever it is, and you have that connection, that really is, that's life. It's the connection. And the opposite of life, for me, is disconnection. To me, there is nothing more tragic than when I sit down at a table and I look over at a restaurant, I see a beautiful young couple. They're in the bloom of life, they're youthful, they're in that moment where potential seems limitless, and they're both staring down at their phones and they're not looking into each other's eyes. And you want to say to them, what are you doing? And I know we all do it, and I'm as guilty of it as anyone. I'm not saying that I'm not. But that moment when you have that connection with love, I think that's what we're all seeking deep down. It's what we all crave.
There is, and his argument is that, what we saw in the 20th century is, as Nietzsche predicted, the death of God causing the destruction of our belief, and therefore World War II and everything that happened there, Mao, the Soviet Union, etc. Century, though, I think there's maybe something else going on as well, which is we've mentioned the sexual revolution and people having fewer kids, and also people being crammed into cities. The urbanization that we've seen over the last 150 years changes everything. Like I remember reading a book by a guy he was a zoologist, Desmond Morris, and the book was called The Human Zoo. He wrote a book called The Naked Ape, but The Human Zoo is the one I'm thinking of. And his central argument was when you put animals in the conditions that human beings live in big cities, you get the same pathologies: mental health, violence, atomization, depression, all the same shit happens. And so you've got urbanization, you've got the pill, which changes testosterone levels in men. Women are attracted to men with lower testosterone. That would be one driver. Another driver would be it's getting in the water supply. The Alex Jones making the frog gay point turns out kind of true. And then you put all that together, and then you add the death of belief, and you've got a very powerful mix to explain what's going on.
Yeah, the Alex Jones thing, it's atrazine, right?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a pesticide, I believe.
Okay.
Is it an herbicide or a pesticide?
So it's not the pill? It's not the contraceptive pill getting into the water
That's
supply?
not what he was saying. He was turning the frogs.
Oh,
gay.
okay.
What there's a thing called, I believe it's called atrazine. And what it does is it will actually turn male frogs into females. They actually morph. And it makes a bunch of them incapable of breeding. It has like very weird endocrine disruptor effects.
So
It's in the water supply.
there's stuff in the water supply that's messing with the hormones and all that kind
But I
of
think
stuff.
birth control pills are in the water supply too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And plastics and the microplastics, and they have it. They have
and,
them.
and even like the antidepressants.
Right. Yeah.
Some water supplies have trace amounts of antidepressants in them.
And cocaine. as well. Yeah.
Well, there's some good news.
You got a particularly energetic population.
Yeah.
What are you making your pasta with, Mike?
So, and then, the sexual revolution also causes the breakdown of the family. Far fewer people are growing up in an intact household. You put all that shit together and you get to where we are.
Yeah. And it's so interesting as well. Like, you see people talking in the UK and they go, oh, Britain doesn't have, there's no such thing as British culture. And you're going, let's just look at what Britain has created in terms of literature, art, philosophy, theatre, music. You're saying there's no culture? And then, but if you said this to a lot of young people, they'd simply look at you and nod.
Well, why are they allowed to say that? Because it's white people?
Yeah, a lot of it. I think a lot of it would be.
Yeah, but it's also like,
That seems so silly in terms of like arguing the evidence.
I think the confusion that people have is, I think especially after World War II, there was this idea that nationalism, like that was nationalism, and patriotism leads to nationalism, therefore you shouldn't be patriotic because then you're going to end up just like Hitler. Which seems a little bit tenuous to me. Like there's quite a lot of intermediary steps there. People are allowed to be proud of their country and love their country without being aggressive about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Hitler.
You don't have to be...
Seems fucking obvious.
Yeah.
Seems fucking obvious, right?
Yeah.
Well, especially in a country like this that's essentially founded by immigrants.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously there's people here first, but after that, it's immigrants. And so the whole idea is that we all agree this is supposed to be a place where you have the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. It's a very important part of what it means to be an American. It's a big part of the whole setup. The whole way it runs is people had to have very controversial ideas, be willing to risk their lives, and come here from another country to try to set up shop, try to set up this new way of living. And it's the best way. It's not perfect, but it's the best way currently available. And if you're trying to fight that in any way, specifically if you're trying to fight the very First Amendment, you're un-American. It's really simple.
And to your point, if you think about what you're just talking about, which is the history of your country, 1776 and all the rest of it, if you had these people trying to shut down freedom of expression as they are now, that would never happen. The pamphlets go out, oh, this is hate speech, ban it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're disrupting the fabric of, whatever the argument is.
Exactly.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah. What do you ever take like an overview approach to like society and just stop and think like, where is this all going and why is it so contentious and chaotic? Is this just the only way that human beings are able to progress, is they have to be constantly at battle and then they kind of both have to kind of improve their positions as time goes on?
Well, look at our societies. I mean, it's kind of weird discussing any of these conflicts around the world because you have to be able to hold two things in your head at the same time. On the one hand, war is horrific. It's fucking horrific. So one of the worst things that human beings do to each other. And on the other hand, it's completely normal. Look around. You go to London. You go where? You go to Trafalgar Square. named after the Battle of Trafalgar. What do you see there? Nelson's Column, named after Admiral Nelson. You go to Paris, what do you see? The Arc de Triomphe, right? Every society defines itself by the conflicts it's fought and won. So it just seems like this isn't. I mean, we're bands of chimps, and chimps go to war, and so do we. It just seems like I don't think we're ever going to get out of that paradigm until we're those fat motherfuckers with milkshakes floating around on pots.
你有一批弟兄们被抓起来关在牢里了，他们一把鼻涕一把眼泪的求我们来帮你。
Go into my base instincts, but I'd be like definitely. But it's also we had a guy on the show way back when we started.
被抓起来的倒还好，倒在地上的那些可能就不怎么
He's
样。
a professor of war studies, former military guy, really smart guy, and he was talking about oxytocin. And he wrote a book called Why We Fight, which is the evolutionary biological analysis of warfare, why it is that human beings fight. And he talked about oxytocin. And oxytocin is the hormone that you feel it. It's a tingly hormone when you go to a concert and, you know, the band comes on and does their big hit, which is massive and anthemic, and everybody sings along, and you get the little tickle in the back of the neck.
向计划晚一点再说吧。
Hormone
我们
has
现在已
two
经开场。
functions. Number one, it creates an in-group to say, we are the group. This is who we are, right? And that was very, very necessary for evolutionary reasons. But obviously, second part of its function, it creates suspicion of the outer. So you go,
哦，李彦先寨主不是失踪许久了吗？
qualified into
你知道他的下落？
Now we're this group and we're a little team. And then we don't like them. And then when you kind of see society, people going, I'm liberal, I don't like conservatives, and vice versa, and all the other nonsense, you go, how much of this is actually conscious? And how much of this is actually biologically programmed? And is there another factor? Because I go a bit smug and I go, yeah, I'm not part of anything, right, or whatever else, and I get on my little high horse and start lecturing. You go, well, that ain't true either. But also, maybe I don't feel the hormonal, maybe it doesn't have as profound impact on me as it does on somebody else. For the moment they're in the tribe, they feel this overwhelming sense of joy.
Yeah, but if someone invaded your town, you'd get to that point very quickly.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
like, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
We're going to the front.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're a fighter, you'd do that. If someone, your family is under threat, you'd lay down your life. Right?
Yeah, and people think they're engaged in a virtual war.
不遂断断，铁大哥
Think they're on the right
报
side.
仇雪恨。
Everybody else is a Nazi.
喂喂，
Well, that's the
你还
thing
杵在
to
这
try
干
and
嘛
get away from
还不动
both
手救
left
人
and right, I think. We just got to try and remember
我们还无法厘清谁是谁非呢
we。are on the same team.
What was your take on all this Candace Owens?
这人跟我阿爹是朋友，先救下来就对了。
I don't know if I can say it.
哦，好吧，
Well,
哪里来的小鬼，在这儿捣乱？
I think that she's very charismatic and very talented as a broadcaster. But I thought her branching out beyond the core issues that she initially focused on was a bit of a disaster.
You mean like Macron's wife being a man?
That's what I was like, what?
Right. So I think the big tragedy of this whole fallout is like, it was the wrong hire for the Daily Wire. It was wrong place.
But it was great at the time.
Well, yeah, it's because if you're charismatic and you're talking about issues on which you are, accurate, you're going to do well.
Wasn't like her billboard when they first signed her for the Daily Wire. Didn't it say like cancelable?
Was it? Yeah.
I think so. See if you can find that, Jamie. I think that's what
I don't want to like disrespect people and anything. I just think it's a strong partnership. Probably,
What did she say?
About what?
Got her fired.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Someone said that one of the controversial comments is that she had wrote Christ is King and put that, and someone had said that was
I think she liked a tweet that was kind of like blood libel.
uncancelable since 1989.
Right.
Candace.
Yeah.
Daily
Yeah.
Wire.
It's the problem that if you create an organization whose slogan is free speech, you're never going to be able to have an editorial policy, which is what they're now trying to have. They're trying to say, well, if you work at this organization, it's like or CNN or anything. As you get bigger, you start to be faced with the fact that people have different opinions, and some people's opinions are going to be outside of the scope of what the people who run it believe. So if you want to be independent, you're going to have to stay independent.
By the way, some of those people that have opinions outside the scope of what you're supposed to think.
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
interesting to
Sure.
listen to. I don't. But the story is hilarious.
Yeah.
That there's journalists that are working on this work. The true story about her meeting him when he was 15 is crazy enough.
Yeah, as a drama teacher.
That's crazy enough.
Yeah.
Like, when did you guys start hooking up?
Yeah.
I agree with you about fun, but I also think when you are communicating to millions of people, there's an accuracy issue that has to also happen,
Yeah.
right?
Especially that one.
Right. Like that's kind of a big deal.
Well,
right?
my take is if that's a man, right? Doesn't that man?
You just want to talk about Macron's wife, don't you? Sorry, I misunderstood this conversation.
Didn't
Joe.
they have children? She has children.
Look, it's a dumb shit. It's a dumb thing to say. It's not fucking true,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So my and
So why? But if it's not true, why do these journalists think it's true?
I've no idea, man.
It's
I've
the
no idea.
internet as well, man. Like, it's
The
just...
internet is the best.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue, like, again, it comes down to the fact that you get this huge platform, you do very well, you build up this massive audience, and then you start going, well, I'm a public figure, I need to have opinions on whatever is going on.
Right.
And the problem comes, like, take Israel-Palestine, like, I've never spoken about it publicly as to what I think, because the reality is, I don't know. I know I've got enough to formulate some kind of opinion, but do I want it challenged? Do I want to go up against an expert? Do I want someone to push back on my ideas? No, because I don't really know. I read about it and I'm just formulating my opinion. But I think the danger comes when you have that type of platform, and you are a political commentator, so you feel compelled to have an opinion about anything. You rapidly get into things that you know nothing about.
And by the way, just to say, Francis and I, we have that attitude to ourselves, right? So we are like, I'm not sure we should be talking about this because we don't know that we know enough.
Yeah,
You know? So, and it's a hard thing to navigate because what happens is, and you see this with stand-up comics too, it's like you're on stage in front of 100 people or 1,000 people or 5,000 people, all of a sudden your opinion is like important. Suddenly you know what you're talking about because lots of people listen to you. And there are some things in which you don't know what you're talking about. But there's also a shit ton of things that you don't know, and you've got a show tomorrow and you've got to have an hour's worth of content. So here's my opinion on Ukraine. Here's my opinion on Israel. Here's my opinion about right. Here's my opinion on this shit. And before you know it, unconsciously, I suspect, you're in over your head and you're saying things that you are not qualified to comment on. You haven't done the research, you haven't understood that issue. But here you are. And that's a trap for a lot of people in that space.
It really is. It's a trap when you have a mind and you don't know to do what you just said. Wait, formulate these opinions, take in the information, try to figure out what's true and what's not true. You know. So,
Yeah.
And there's a difference between like three guys having a conversation and you go, well, here's my opinion. And I go, here's my opinion. And you go, here's my opinion. Let's have a chat and find out. And none of us is attached to that opinion being true. Everyone's willing to change their mind. We are not telling the audience, this is the truth. But when you're doing your own show, just you, and you're reading an hour's worth of stuff that you've written or someone's helped you write to the camera, that's a very different conversation. And so I think ultimately the conflict between the Daily Wire and Candace Owens is not anti-Semitism, whatever. I just think it was not the right fit, and over time those cracks have widened. That's my understanding from speaking to people on various sides.
I think everyone's better off being independent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying my audience is independent, you know.
Sure. I wish her every success. Agree or disagree on issues. You always want to do as well.
Yeah.
So, but I just think it was a conflict based on the fact that there's, different values, different attitudes, different,
Did you see that the professor at Columbia today, a Jewish professor who is pro-Israel, he got locked out, and so there's these videos of him the crowd and saying they are locking me out, they won't let me teach, they won't let me into the building, my car doesn't work anymore.
Joe, there's the funniest thing you've got to see. This 2015 NFL skit. Have you seen this? Jamie, could you go on my Twitter? Tweet that says, how did they know? This is the funniest thing I've seen in years. From 2015 NFL sketch about a guy dropping his daughter off at college. Jamie, are you able to find it? Thank you. This is.
Was that right when Jordan Peterson started becoming famous?
Was it?
I think he was 2016.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
it was 2016. 2015. What was going on in 2015?
2015 was definitely when he was experiencing that stuff
Yeah.
in Toronto.
What was it? Was
Okay, here
2015
it is.
Evergreen?
Go full screen with this. Oh my god, that's
How
amazing.
fucking good is that? 2015.
What was that sketch on?
SNL.
SNL. I said NFL before SNL.
SNL?
Yeah.
That's one of the best things SNL's ever done.
Yeah.
That's
How good is
insane.
that? And
Yeah,
it
it's
isn't,
insane.
that bit when he goes death to America, I was like, yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's what they're
It is
saying
a
on
bit-
college campuses.
Yeah, they're saying that, and this pro-Israeli guy that moved off.
You just you actually stop at times and go, what is actually happening? What is actually happening?
Well, we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
Well, how many years have we talked?
Yeah.
Press dynamics inevitably creates this.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's
But
inevitable.
it's also being influenced by foreign fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they will always do that.
Yeah,
They will always
they
do
did
that.
an amazing job.
So we have to weaken our own immune system for them to be able to be successful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And we've also got to offer up our kids. I don't think enough people make this point. There's lots of people pointing the fingers like kids are stupid, kids are this, kids are this, kids are whatever. Yet you're going to raise kids a certain way, they're going to turn out a certain way. How have you raised them? Is it really the kids' fault? Or actually, is the reason you're pointing at them and mocking them and deriding them because you know you can? And it's the easy thing to do to point at the kids when the fact is actually they've been raised wrong.
Yep. On the other hand, when you become a parent, well, you only have a certain amount in the society where you send your kids to school, college. That's what they're for. They naturally want to rebel against their parents. That's a very simplistic narrative about, life is about people who control things they're oppressing their parents. There's lots of who's oppressing who by who's successful, right? So what you're doing then is, if you're successful, you're a bad guy. And if you're not, you're a good guy. You look at all the different ethnic groups, and especially, Asian Americans, Jews, and whatever, these groups that are quote-unquote overperform, they're overrepresented. Once you create the idea that some people are overrepresented and some people are underrepresented, you inevitably come to this point. Inevitably. People will inevitably start hating successful minorities, and they will stop and they will look at everyone else as the oppressed underdog. I mean, Thomas Sowell's latest book, Social Justice Party, talks about how every single major brewery in the world is founded by Germans, including Tsingtao, the Chinese beer. Because those people have perfected the art of brewing over hundreds and hundreds of years. Every group is going to have its own advantages and disadvantages. Some people are better at hockey, some people are better at basketball, some people are better by being lawyers, some people are better by being a podcaster or something else, right? You can't just look at people as members of groups and go, nothing about this group. If this group is doing they're oppressed. So that's the position we've come to. And it's because of indoctrination and education. Indoctrination and education guided by, funded and supported by foreign powers. And we've allowed it to happen.
It's getting brainwashed.
Yeah, and I completely agree. And that's why I have real empathy for a lot of these kids. I'm like, you've been fed this crap since the moment you enter the education system, and then you come out at the age of 18, 19, and you're spouting this nonsense.
Yeah.
But what do we tell our kids? Well, I used to work in a school. What did we say when I was a teacher? Listen to your teacher. Don't question, don't challenge, particularly with the younger ones. You do what your teacher tells you to do. If your teacher tells you to do this in maths, you do this in maths.
Not only that, it's a personal position that has control of the entire people. It's really weird. You know how that dynamic goes with cults and presidents. Then you have this group of people that are filled with anxiety that will make their life. clear path that you have to follow, they're just going to be influenced to follow. It's real simple to do to young people. You take them away from their parents are probably overbearing, they finally get to be themselves, and it's pretty powerful. And they just, from the river to the sea, they're just out there in the streets.
And it's absolutely true. And if you look at, I don't know in America, but in the UK, the teacher is described as being in loco parentis, which means in the role of the parent. So that is your role when you're a teacher in the UK. It's in the role of the parent. It's your responsibility to look after these kids, teach them, but also there's a pastoral aspect of it. So if you're in the role of the parent, and you have these dangerous ideologies, yeah.
Right. And you have to be there with a bunch of yeah, like the TikTok and the
Yeah, and you're one of these awful teachers where you're like, I want the kids to be my friends. You're like, why do you want to be friends with a 9-year-old?
Did you ever see any footage from the stuff we did at the protest? I went along to a few protests and talked to people. Have you seen it? Have you seen any of this?
No.
We have like a 5-minute clip.
Which protest?
Both. So in London, I went along to march against
总算是
anti-Semitism.
逃出来了。
And I went along to pro-Palestine protests, 2 of them, and an Extinction Rebellion
哎
protest.
呀
That was
二寨
fucking
主啊
incredible.
你还好吗？
Extinction Rebellion is a group that's fairly small in this country but very big in the UK, and they basically want us to stop using oil and gas and
看来他内伤极重
producing，energy.
咱们救人救到底，
So that
送河
folks
送
can
到
move
西，
themselves to the
就把他
wall.
带去卧龙村找那个马场地吧。
Yeah, but interesting. We have a couple of minutes clip if you're interested, Joe, from me, and I was very journalistic about it. I didn't go in to try and misrepresent anybody. I just talked to people.
Okay.
That's all I did. And I'd ask them, you know, you've got this placard with this Free Palestine or From the River to the Sea. What does that mean?
Right.
And we didn't edit it, we didn't massage it. We showed you over the course of the 30-minute video. We showed you every single person we spoke to, pretty much, right? And it's just fascinating. You talk about like these kids don't know anything. Like you have no idea how much they don't know anything. You know, and they're well-intentioned people. They're not bad people.
Yeah.
They're there because they've seen kids being blown up on their timeline. And you know, that's understandable. You'd be freaked out by that. And if you're a human being, you'd be freaked out by that.
Yeah.
But Jamie, if you're able to play a minute or two, I think you'd find it interesting, Joe.
Okay. Where's it at?
It's on YouTube, but it'll be one of our most recent YouTube clips.
Oh, yeah. Here it is.
So I just noticed the signs that you got From the River to the Sea, Palestine will be free. What does that mean?
Well, it's quite self-explanatory. It needs to be.
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, isn't it? Because I guess what I mean is, how would that come about? What would happen to the Israelis?
I don't.
I'm trying to think of how to word it. Isn't it just as self-explanatory as the area of land? It's Palestine's land.
So when you say Palestine, which bit do you mean?
Yeah, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank. Yeah.
That's it?
I don't know. Is there another part?
I'm getting confused now. I thought it was self-explanatory. What about either of you? It's a bullshit question. Why? Well, tell me, why is it bullshit?
I'm not fucking getting involved in this, but it's so like inflammatory. No, it's just really inflammatory.
It's inflammatory. Why is that?
I'm not getting involved.
Okay. All right.
That
I didn't
guy-
say anything. I was just asking what it meant.
Oh.
Do you agree with the sign?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, of course.
What does it mean to you?
Palestinians to be free, you know.
Well, it says Palestine, so I was asking them which bit of the area.
Yeah, the people that are being oppressed, for them to be free, you know. Gaza, West Bank, them people to be free. Yeah.
Gaza and West Bank.
Yeah, all Palestinians in general, you know, because we know that what's going on. All of them are being oppressed, so for them to be free, you know, it's nothing, you know, it's clear as day, you know.
Yeah. Well, I was just asking them which bit of the land they mean, because some people mean all of the land, including the bit where Israel is now, and that's why there's some debate about, you know, what
I
that
think
means.
the main message is Palestinians that are being oppressed, for them to be free, you know, and for everyone to live in harmony, regardless of your religion or whatever it is, because historically speaking, we say Muslims, Jews, Christians have been living there for centuries, you know, living in good peace. But when only in recent times all of this issue has been going on, you know. But I think if
How long would you say this issue's been going on?
as far as I know, obviously I'm not as educated on this topic, for example, with other people, but for roughly around 75 years, since I think the mandate from 45, just before, after World War, I think is when the issues, you know, when the British came and started cutting up lands and taking the lands of the Palestinians, I think that's when the issue started, you know.
Well, yeah, before that you had the Ottoman Empire there, which had very strong control over the area. Yeah, that makes sense.
Any attack on civilians is not justified, you know, regardless of wherever happened, you know. But I think the issue really, what is the origin of this problem? You know, history has not started October 7th, you know. We have to see the real origin of this was, as I said, 75 years ago. Obviously, I'm not as educated on this topic, but because what I see now is this whole issue is being portrayed as if civilization and history started from October 7th and onwards. But no, that's not the real, that's only a aspect. The whole issue is obviously, as we said, from, you know, 70, 80 years ago. And I think that contributes to what is going on today from both sides, you know, from the Palestinian side as well as the Israeli side.
All right, so we are
Jamie,
now...
skip
forward a few seconds. Just a few seconds, we don't need talking. There's one more bit. Here we go. First alternative to Sunak and Sama for a socialist intifada. What's a socialist intifada?
If I'm being honest with you, I just got this at the stand over there.
Okay.
I don't actually know the definition of the word intifada,
Okay.
but I
Do
mean,
any of you know the definition of the word intifada? Stop on you guys, that makes sense. What about that one? Yeah. And what does that mean?
Well, it means it's to stop the Israeli occupation of Palestine.
From which river to which sea? From the Jordan to the Mediterranean Sea, yeah. So does that mean that all of Israel should be, what is now Israel, should be Palestine, in your opinion?
No, I personally don't think that. I think I'm definitely not the person to talk to about this, but I know that there's multiple strategies that people have come up with, like a two-state solution or one-state solution. I think ideally I would like to see one multi-faith state that is neither Israel nor Palestine.
There we go.
Strong opinions to be out there marching.
Yeah.
At least they've done a lot of research.
Can you imagine marching with a sign that you don't know what it means?
Well, also they're being handed those signs, which is wild too. So that's organized, right?
Yeah.
And then they also know that people are very gullible and people like to be out in protests.
Yeah, and like I said, they're not bad people.
No,
Look at those
they
kids.
just don't.
They're decent
they're
people.
Not informed
They're not informed.
at all, and yet they're protesting, which is interesting.
So most of the people I spoke to were somewhere along that. So pretty decent people and not hateful. Most of them. There is a minority, but most of them, they're not hateful. They're not bad people, but what they are is very ill-informed. And the other thing is, I'm starting to kind of see the distinction. There are some people who have a activist mindset, and there are some people who have a pragmatist mindset. And that's the activist mindset, which is if we complain enough, if we make enough noise, if we draw enough attention, then someone else will fix things.
Right.
The pragmatist mindset is like, how do we move forward from here? And that's the question I was putting to them, is like, you say we need from the river to the sea. That means there shouldn't be any Israel, right? Because that's what that means. If from the River Jordan to the Mediterranean, that means there would be no Israel. And then when you say to them, well, is that what you're asking for? No, I want everyone to live in peace and harmony. Well, have you been to the fucking Middle East?
Yeah.
Good luck with that,
Yeah.
right? So these things are very, very complicated, and that's why they haven't been resolved for 75 years. So the way to try and resolve them is to think about how do we move forward. We can get stuck in 75 years of history. That's not going to take you anywhere.
Right.
You think bickering about what happened in 1945 is going to solve anything? Is that what you think? 1960, that's going to solve something? Oh, man. The way forward is to find a way for both sides to live, A, ideally separately from each other, and B, for economic growth and development to be happening there, and for security to be available to the Palestinians and to the Israelis, right? And I'm not saying that from any deep place of expertise. It's just like the obvious thing, right? People don't fight when they're happy and comfortable and safe, right? How you get there is very, very complicated discussion, but it's not protesting with a sign you don't understand
Well, that's just indicative of just human nature, right?
Right.
People want to be on the virtuous side. They want to be on the right side of the protest. And obviously, you say something like "Free Palestine." Like, who's going to argue with that? Of course, everyone should be free. Free Palestine. Yeah, definitely. And so you're out there with a sign. I'm doing the right thing, and it's that simple. And
长老怎么会放外面的人进来？
It's hard to really formulate it, especially that one. Whew, that's a complicated one. Super complicated.
And also as well, it's not just the complicatedness of it. It's the fact that the Middle East is so emotionally charged.
Yeah.
It's so emotionally
That's
charged.
diplomatically put, my friend.
Yeah, and to the point that it makes it impossible to kind of to have a rational discussion about it without people going, "Oh, you're being like this, you're being like this." Everybody's invested in it, and you go. You know, there's a very famous story during Northern Ireland. They had peace talks in Northern Ireland, where I think it was Clinton came in and sat down with both sides, and these were people who'd been at war, literal war. I mean, Northern Ireland in a state of civil war. They call it the Troubles, but that's essentially what it was. And Clinton went, you know what? Before we get started, before you say anything, can we agree it's Wednesday? They're like, okay. And we're like, can we agree it's 11:30? Yeah. And can we agree that I'm drinking a cup of coffee? They were like, yeah, okay. We're starting to point of agreement with that. And let's see if we can navigate the rest and try and find a place where we can find some common ground. And I think with the challenges that we're facing right now, we can't even agree what words mean. And if we can't even agree with what words mean, how are we going to agree on something as difficult to solve as the Middle East and find a solution that not everybody is happy with, that everybody's prepared to accept? Because the reality is, when you strike any deal, there needs to be a large dollar involved where you have to accept, I'm not going to get everything I want, and I've got to accept what I am happy with, what I can accept at that moment. And if you're not prepared to do that, and if you can't even agree on what words mean, and if you're in this kind of oppressive mindset, how are you going to come to any kind of agreement or solution?
The way we have the conversation about it is not people are looking for a solution. People are looking to say, you know, what's happening is horrible, and it is horrible. I mean, like, this is the thing with social media is, you spend two minutes on your phone looking at what's going on, and you're like, fuck, you know, someone's got to do something.
Yeah, ocean's boiling.
But doing stuff is hard. Talking about shit is easy. Right?
Yeah, willing yourself.
That's right. That's right. And so, yeah, with the conflict, it's the same. I mean, I listened to Jared Kushner podcast, and I thought he was very good about talking about a positive way forward. It's probably why he was able to pull off the Abraham Accords, which was a big step in the region.
Very, very smart guy.
Very smart guy.
He's very nice too. Very
Yeah.
You see him on media depictions of him during the Trump administration. It's like, oh, it's Damien from The Omen. It's evil. Look at him. You ever see that? Compare him to Damien? Like, there's a photo of him right next to Damien from The Omen. Do you know the movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's the devil's baby.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the lady gets pregnant by the devil.
Right.
Damien's the devil's baby. And Damien looks. You're like, it's Damien. Can you find that, Jamie?
I was very impressed with what he had to say.
He's a brilliant guy. Yeah.
And you can see why he was, and his whole thing is like, what's the positive vision for the future?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do we get everybody what they need to stop being angry and fighting and killing each other?
Yeah.
Right? But you can have as many fucking protest marches as you want. It's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
And we saw that with Iraq. I protested against the war in Iraq. I was on the street.
But
It
does add to the confusion that young people are experiencing. Like,
Whoa, fuck.
Come on, son.
Yeah.
长老怎么会放外面的人进来？
So similar. There's photos of him. There's like a side by side of him and Damien. There it is. There it is. The one down there. Well, there's one down there. That one. The one to the left of that. Right there. Look at that. I mean, come on, son. I mean, if you didn't know him, you could. That's why it's so insidious what the media is capable of doing.
Oh man.
So creepy that they do that, and that they think that almost it's their obligation to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Well, this is what I was saying about disagreeing with people. Like, I've heard from every single person that knows Tucker that he's a great guy. I still disagree with him on some things, but
Yeah,
doesn't
you're
mean
allowed-
doesn't mean he's not a great guy.
You're allowed to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And but the media conversation is always about this person has the wrong opinion, therefore he's bad or she's bad.
Yeah.
And that's dumb. Someone can be really wrong and still be a really good person who's trying their best, and they may learn from their mistakes over time if they're doing things wrong too.
Agreed. Agreed.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it's a crazy world, but we're here
Yeah.
and we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having fun. I mean, we're very fortunate. We're very fortunate that this has come along during this time. But it's also part of the cause of this time.
Yes.
You know, but the fact that there is this newfound avenue to be able to express things, just really just talk about whatever the fuck you want and not be confined by some organization that's telling you what to talk about and what you can't talk about, and then censoring you if you disagree, firing you.
And
think-
that's what we need. We need more conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to start seeing people not as avatars who need to be destroyed, but
Yeah.
actually as somebody else over the other side who has their own way of looking at things, has arrived at this point. Now, you may think it's wrong, you may think it's stupid, you may think all of these things, but it's still a human being. They've still got this point, and sit them down and go, why?
Right.
Why is it? Because maybe, here's the thing, maybe by reaching your hand out, you might be able not only to understand them a little bit better, you might actually be able to understand yourself a little bit better. And by seeing the blind spots in them, you go, what about my blind spots?
Yeah.
What about the thing where I have an unconscious bias. I actually have a bias because of the way I was raised, because of the way I was brought up, because of what I've seen growing up. And maybe, actually, even though they might be wrong about this thing, I kind of get why they're saying this. And not only that, they might have a point about something else that I haven't thought about.
And this is why the ethos of self-improvement is so important.
100%.
Yeah, and why it also gets attached to right-wing ideology.
It's because you're taking responsibility, right? And for some reason, some people want to make the right the only place that's about personal responsibility. I don't think that's necessary. That's crazy. You can exercise and be left-wing, right-wing.
Of course.
You can take care of your family and be left-wing, right-wing.
course.
And people have always done that.
And I think that the people that aren't interested in that, both on left wing and the right wing, have the most problematic views. The people that have no interest in self-improvement, both on the right and on the left, they're the people that are the biggest problems.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a people, the worst people are the people who are utterly entrenched in their views. And they think to themselves, you know what, I've got everything right, I don't need to change. Why do I need to improve? Why do I need to change the way I think? Because I am right.
Yeah.
Well, great. So what you've actually done is you've actually stunted your own growth. Emotionally, physically, spiritually.
But the good thing is, I think that becomes evident over time. I think those people become exposed, and it becomes very clear what they're doing over time. I think we're going through that right now.
Yeah. And
It's
also,
a tumultuous period.
I think the economics of podcasting and new media is gonna make more daily wire style organizations. I think it's inevitable. People are gonna come together under one umbrella or in partnership or somehow. Because it's like no one wants to subscribe to their favorite 50 Substacks. You know, no one wants to listen to give $5 a month to their favorite 30 podcasts.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. You're going to want to come to one place where you've got, Barry's doing it with the Free Press, for example. She's bringing people together under her umbrella.
That's a very good point, because if you have like 10 podcasts you like and it's $10 a month, okay, now it's getting a little pricey.
And the admin alone is going to kill you.
Yeah. It's getting pricey. And then it's like you're going to lose out on a lot of people that are interested in your stuff. And you have to pay for it. But you get a bunch of really good ones all together.
And before you know it, new media will become old media. It will have the same corruption. It will have the same power structures. Hierarchy and power is prone to corruption, as we know from our good friend.
That's why I believe in organic networks.
Yeah.
So what I try to do with my friends, with comedians, I instill this notion of we are on a network. It's an organic network. No contracts with each other, but we're all friends and we all support each other, so we help each other. So our reach is all
马大爷的家宅，
it's all
闲
tied
人
in.
勿近。
You know, if you listen to your mom's house. You probably listen to Joey Diaz. You probably listen to me. There's like a whole group of us, and you might like Duncan more, or you might like Ari more, whatever it is. But there's a whole group of people that are connected that are essentially on the equivalent.
你说谁先燃？ 我们是有钥匙来找马从义的。
You know, that transition was so good for us, but also so hard because coming from the UK comedy circuit, where we started, it's the exact opposite.
It was in America too.
Every man for himself.
It was like
crabs
that
in a
America
bucket.
too.
And then when we started coming over here, it was like a whole new world
Wang
was
Xiu.
open to us. And now we are bringing that back to the UK.
怎么
We
生
are
成这
helping
样？
people out.
快进
We are
来！
like, oh, here's a talented new writer. Let's give her an opportunity. Here's a talented new guy doing YouTube. Let's bring him in and give him a boost. And we are kind of using that to try and create a community of people who are working together, not necessarily towards the same goal, but just like people who are
王兄
looking
真
out
力
for
伤
each
不
other.
轻，
Yes.
即
And
便
that's
专
such a
心调
powerful
养，
transformation
只
of
怕
the way you
也
view the
要
world
1年
because
半
suddenly
载
everyone's
才
your
能
friend.
康复。
Yeah, and that's one of the best things that came out of the whole internet revolution for
今天这
comics
早不成样了。
is that we
唐
realized
文发觉
that
此事
we are not in competition, but that we benefit from
兄
all the things that
你现在路
benefit
都走
you
不好
from being in
担
competition.
心
So
这
you
些
get
又有何用？
inspired, you can be forced to work harder,
好
really
像
raise your levels.
还能早
But
日回
more
归前线
importantly, we're in，
上场杀
collaboration
敌。
and that we're a tribe. And that we all benefit from each other being around, and it's beautiful when
兄
your
弟
friends do
何姑
well.
娘，
And that,
你们救
that
我一命，
philosophy
还来不及好好谢
was
过。
possible because of the internet. Because before that, we were all competing for the same amount of jobs on television and what late night talk shows, whatever.
哦
it was.，
不用谢了。
Once that
反
went
正我
away,
天天都
then
在救人性
TV
命。
became an asset. Because like if I could get Tom Segura on my podcast,
两
we're
位
gonna
救
have a
命
lot
之
of
恩
fun.
在下
His
已是终
podcast
生
will
难
grow,
忘。
my podcast will grow, and
然而
everybody
现在
will
擎天寨岌岌可危，
that
在
helps
下
us.
与我们是必须
There's
办
also
成的。
this mentality that we have at comedy
我
store.
爹爹一向赞许你的为人，
Like we were a
只要有
tribe.
我能帮忙的
We were
一定
supportive
帮到
of
底
each。other, even before the podcast thing.
Where did that come from? Was it you that
先
kind of led that,
我的
or was
意见。
it someone else? Because it always
那个狗
comes
贼
from
占
like
一飞。
someone being the inspiration, doesn't it?
与人头勾结，背叛
Because it came from martial arts.
线下
That's
必
how
把
I
持着
think
擎天
about
寨。
martial. You have to have training partners. You don't get good by yourself. You have to
一
have
生
training
失踪数
partners.
人，
The
生
only
死
way
未
you
卜
get。good at jiu-jitsu, you have
线下
to
唯
you
一
have
的
to
线
roll
索
really, really good.
是无
You
意
have
解
to
白鹿说
train
数日前传来的信
to
息
high levels, to high levels.
说是
But
这
I
名
mean,
义兄
if you have
出
a
现
gym
在
that
我
has
们
a
村里，
specifically,
他打算前
especially
往抓
for a
他。
high level of jiu-jitsu,
白
you're
鹿
gonna get
霜
a lot of high level
怎么不曾听说
people.
擎天寨有这一号人物
When they go to a lower level gym, they're just way better. Just like you see a comic that works
因为
you
一
know,
姐过去
as
行
a
走江湖
seller，in
曾
New
结下
York,
不
you
少
go
情
somewhere
缘。
else. Like that's a high
受
level
我义兄
comic.
招揽之后，
They're in a
为
high
避免跟
pressure,
丝绸破
high
坏招致
talent
情感，
situation.
一
It
向携手
benefits
共
everyone.
命。
So my feelings from martial arts, I just transferred over to comedy. I was like, this is the best way to do it. I know it seems you think like we're all fuck him,
这次若
oh
不是义
man,
兄
like
数以
get
来音
rid
讯
of
全
that.
无，
Get rid of that.
债如
Like,
人性化，
everybody can be
一姐
good
绝不
together.
会离开擎
And when
天寨，
someone's good,
亲
it
自看
actually
看
feels
此
good
事。
to tell people that person's good and blow them up and help them. And
我
if you
一
can
姐武
help,
功高强
you，know,
江湖阅
get
历有
some
深，
shine
只要
on,
得
get
他
some
所
light
助，
on someone who's really
要
talented.
寻得
It's
我
good
义
for
兄
the
下
art form, which
还
is
有
the
收
whole
复
reason
擎
why we
天
got
寨，
into it
就
in
还
the
有一
first
线
place.
希望。
And the more people that do it, the
照
higher
他
the
上次
levels
传
get.
来的信息，
You're gonna get
他
more
现在
people
应该
that
也在
rise
这
to
乌
the
龙村
top,
一带
more
四下探查
competition,
义兄的行
more
踪。
creativity, more influence, more excitement, more inspiration. It's good for everybody.
And it's good for you as well.
Yeah.
Because it's
他总是
when
独来
you
独往，
have that
明明才
mindset.
30
No,
岁，
this is my thing.
却有一
You're
头
not
披
going
肩
to
白
touch
发，
my thing.
应
You
当不
know,
难
It's a
为。
gross mindset.
it's a gross mindset, and what gross mindsets do is they corrupt the individual. And this is what people don't
好
talk about enough.
我们找到
If
这位白
you've
鹿霜
got a terrible
把他带来见你
mindset,
就是了吧
okay, it's bad for everybody around
是
you,
的
and of course
这
that's
事与两位
important.
并不相
But the
干，
person
却
is
一再拜托
worse.
你
It's
帮
you.
我，想来真
It's
是
cancerous.
不
So
打紧
if you have this
我帮你的
mindset,
忙
of,
爹
I'm
一定
not
会
going
高
to
兴
help
的
anyone because what about me?
我们走
You
吧
know what? You're going to end up on your own, and you're going to end up being deep,
喂
deep.
我还没答应要帮忙吧？
Here, here.
Yeah. You know, I asked Jordan about this because his whole crew is like, everyone works together. It's a team game. We're all
这
pulling
虎
in
符
the same
是
direction.
我作为擎天
And I
寨
said
二
to him,
寨
how
总
did
主
you
正，
like? And he goes,
平时
I
我
realized
提升
very
后
early on, the right
但这
amount
次
of
形势
drama
非
to
常，
have on a tour
就暂且交给你作为信物，应当能取
zero
信于
drama.
他。
If you're a drama,
知道了，我会好 好好保管的。
You're not going to work it well. You know, and it's not an angry thing. It's a practical.
明明都是我在保
We're
管
all。working towards the same thing.
我
I'm
也会
trying to
尽
make
己
you
所能
better. You're trying to
为
make
王
me
兄
better.
寻
I
找
mean,
最高
the
明的
guy
代理，
literally invited
希
someone
我兄
over from another
尽早
country
康
to
复，
argue with him
收
on
复
stage in
擎
front of
天
the
战。
And it works. And that's what high quality
多谢
leadership looks like.
各位
You're talking about
一切拜
what
托
Dawn's
了。
talking about. And coming here, man, and talking to people like you and others, it's been just
罢了
revolutionary，for
反
us.
正找到白发女子就对了。
That's beautiful.
现在
That's
附近
what
打听
that
打听吧。
mindset is everything.
Yeah, it is. It's good for you. Like you said, it's good for you too. Yeah. It's good for everybody. It's good for me. It's important for me. When people, I benefit when people do well. It really does. It helps me. So,
Yeah, because it challenges you. And that's what I love about the Austin comedy scene, is that when you come here, people are so much more open. You know, you don't get that in a lot of other comedy scenes where people are, you know, people do help each other, of course they do. But there's still this crabs in a bucket mentality. Whereas you come here and people are just far more open. They go, come and do 10 minutes at my club. Come here. Oh, you're great. Come and do this. Come and do that. That collaborative process is how everybody wins.
怎么了？
It's how everybody gets better. It's how we all become better at what we want to do. Because the reality is, if you're denying someone the chance for them to flower and flourish, you're denying something of yourself as well. Because later on, that person will be like,
什么事吗？
"Can I help?" You know, hey, why don't you come and do this thing? You know, do you remember you did this for me? And then bam, and then you both won, and then you both created something.
yeah.
And it's just a positivity, which is why I love coming here. I love coming here because there's a positivity here, that there's a can-do attitude, and we can go out and we can do this, and we're going to work together, and we're going to collaborate, and we're going to change things, and we're going to improve. I come here, and I just feel so much more creatively energized. All these past like 10 days I've been in Austin, most of the time, apart from going out and meeting people, I just spend all my day writing. I spend all my day writing because I'm going, I've got all these gigs that I can test it out on, and I feel energized, and I feel creative, and I know that I can do this. And yet I know if I fail, like I did it, one particular gig for Hans Kim, bless him, I did too much new, it didn't go well. I came out going, oh, I know that I'm not going to get limited because I didn't do well at that gig. But I came away knowing that I've got so much to improve, and I know how to improve it. And then I went and did another gig, and it was great.
Yeah, you got to be able to take chances. It's a very important thing. People have to know what you're capable of. And when you're starting off with new stuff, you're trying new stuff out. Some of it goes terrible. It's just part of the process, and everyone here knows that. They get it. I mean, we had the benefit of not being attached to Hollywood too. Right. That was one of the best things. Like, New York is not really attached to Hollywood either, but there's still like the Hollywood adjacent. You know, you can get gigs, and there's obviously there's talk shows that are there still. Letterman was always there. But with California, you're just so infected by the Hollywood bullshit. And here it's none. It's non-existent. So you get to exist in a purely creative environment in that the comedians are just trying to be better at comedy. That's it. This thing. Not just try to audition for a television show. Try to be better at comedy.
Bro, when I went to LA for the first time, I spent 3 days there. And I told you I'm not a religious person. After 3 days, I got on the plane and I was like, these people need God. Fuck me.
Gentlemen, death to America.
Not really. Hey, settle down.
All right, appreciate you guys very much. Trigonometry available everywhere, and then you have there's a Substack. So how does it work? The Substack's like a
just Konstantin Kissen Substack. Head there, read the shit out, right?
And you guys have some of your episodes are available behind the subscription wall. Is that how it is?
So what we do is we do usually about 20 minutes to half an hour bonus content with questions from our audience for the guest, and that goes behind a paywall.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's some pretty cool stuff there.
That's a good way to do it. Questions from the audience.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Well, we tell people who's coming on in advance, and then they send in a bunch of questions, and we're like, what's most upvoted, what's the most interesting, what's the funniest, and we do that. And it goes on our locals. There's 20-30 minutes extra content for every guest.
Beautiful.
It's pretty cool.
And the interesting thing is, you look at the questions, you go, damn, some of them are better than mine.
Well, got to crowdsource.
Yeah, you
All
do.
right. Thank you, gentlemen. Really appreciate you. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having us,
Perfect.
Jeff.
All right. Bye, everybody.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Have you ever had
had to deal with jet lag for a fight?
No, not really. I mean, we tried to go up like early. That's why. So the first 2 days is whatever, but then after that we're all good.
Where's the furthest that you had to fly to fight?
I think so. Abu Dhabi, Fight Island.
And so how long does that take to adjust?
Brother, that one was weird because then you remember they had us fighting at weird times, like you know, like so we had to sleep during the day and then wait, like train during the night. Like I remember going to sleep around like 8 or 9 o'clock a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, because we was fighting like around that time, like early in the morning. So it's just that's insane.
So you had to get your body
Acclimated, yeah.
That's got to play a factor, right? Like if you live in Abu Dhabi, that'd be a big advantage.
Oh, for sure. I mean, did you not just see the July card that?
没看到，我在忙。
3 a.m. brother.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is the main card start? So they're saying whoever's main headline is fighting at 6 a.m.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
You know how drunk that audience is gonna
be. Great. I saw. You know what's funny? I saw a clip, a meme of a video of like a UK fan. He's like living in the UK. He was like, he watched our fight. Our fight just got done. Mine and Justin. He played our clip, and then he was like, great. Now I can start my morning. He opened the door. It's light out and stuff. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, they have to deal with different. I mean, it's funny. The American pay-per-view time schedule just trumps everything.
Oh yeah. I mean, crazy.
I guess we're the ones who buy it the most. I wonder what the numbers are in the rest of the world.
I think UK is another hotspot, right? And UK big.
Yeah,
I mean,
there
are some fight fans to be
Yeah.
doing that and you know, once a month they're planning there's a pay-per-view card and they're like, look, honey, 3 a.m. I'm probably gonna be screaming, so please don't divorce me. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you just gotta get one tolerant wife and have everybody go over to that house.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey guys, or you get the single friend, you know,
Right.
you know that one of the guys that he's just single, you don't have nothing going on. He's like, yeah, you can come to my house.
Yeah, that's perfect. So what has it been like for you after 300? I mean, it seems like, I think for whatever reason, people go through phases of their career. And with some fighters, if a fighter gets a loss or two,
我这儿的铁器保证耐用。
And with you, I think some people had written you off for some strange reason.
Brother.
I don't get it.
I heard the noise.
I heard it. I heard the noise. I'm like, listen, he's only 32.
Yeah.
Right? 32, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's only 32. That's athletic prime. I'm like, there's no beatings. There's no knockouts. There's no decline in the expression of skills inside the octagon. Everything looks the same and better every fight.
You know what the problem is? The problem is that these guys got to see me grow up. You know, I got in the UFC when I was 20.
20 years old.
And a lot of people think I'm DC's old ass, like 42 years old or something. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, brother, I'm not DC. I've been calling out DC, but I'm a young guy. You know, just because I've been harassing his potato-looking butt, like, come on, his bag of potato-looking ass.
You two together are hilarious.
Brother, I love that guy. I love that guy.
Everybody
I love
loves
that
guy. He's the best.
A lot of guys just think I'm old because I've been fighting since I was 20, and then it wasn't, and it's not like I've been fighting 20. I've been fighting since I was 20, and I fought a who's who in my division. You know,
best
the
in
top
the
guys,
world
you know?
since you were 20 years old, just past teenager.
Yeah, so like especially with the Vogue fights, you know, it's like. The first two fights was alright, and that third fight is what made everybody go, oh, he's done for. I'm like, brother, like that was his Volk's night. He was on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. Everybody's like, oh yeah, look at Max. He Volk just did this, and now they're doing MMA math because Ilya did that to Volk, and even with Ilya doing MMA math, I beat a guy that beat you. I'm like, brother, this is not how it works. I lost to Dustin. Dustin just got knocked out from Justin, and now can I say I beat Dustin now? No, it's like.
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you know, styles make fights. So
it's also what happens in camp. What kind of condition are you coming into the fight in? Are you fighting injured?
How did exactly?
Did you just fight Islam Makhachev and get head kicked?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big factor, man.
Brother, that was crazy. You know, a lot of people was giving me a shit when because Islam talked about our fight, about me and Justin saying it was useless fight or whatever, and I'm like, bro, like if you took the fight in February when like you should have because you came out clean, I think so Justin would have fought you, you know. But like, how the hell is someone that you just knocked, like that was a scary knockout, brother. Like that was a scary ass knockout, and that guy turning around in a couple months, like bro, you're not even supposed to get hit for that long.
Right.
And then now you're doing a camp, even if you're okay, say you do a camp, you don't spar out camp, right? But then you still training hard or whatever, and like maybe you just accidentally fall over, bump your head on something, you know, or like you're scratching your head, you know, or you're screaming or something because you're stressing out. You know, I'm like, I don't know what could happen, but with
you have to have a long time.
Yeah, chilling. I mean, look at Justin. I just saw Justin finally doing interviews after this fight, and he just said like, I'm not doing nothing for 6 months, like nothing. And I'm like, bro, that's smart, you know.
When Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao, Freddie Roach made him wait a year.
1 year.
1 year.
That's crazy.
So you got to really heal up. That was a bad knockout.
Bro, you only got. I remember it was you that talked about it, like that talked about our brain. This is like a long time ago when you're talking about the cotton candy thing in your brain and how it's how once that disappear, you don't that shit don't grow back, right?
Exactly.
And I remember watching that was a long time ago. I didn't know how many years that was ago, and
我这儿的铁器
meant a
保
lot.
证
Everybody
耐
keep
用。
telling me like, oh Max, you get hit so much and blah blah blah, this and that. I'm like, yeah, okay, in the fight, you might see me get hit, but I'm not sparring. You know, like I'm not sparring, I'm being sparring. This Justin Gaethje one, brother, I was going to the gates of hell. We had to bring back sparring. You know what I mean? Like I was ready to be a crash dummy against it. I told my coaches, look, this is a man that is very dangerous. We need to get into the thick of it and get it done. So we bring back sparring for this one, but it still wasn't.
That's very wise.
It still wasn't crazy, you know. It wasn't like we had our hard days far outside of camp, like outside of camp, and it was fun. Then we kind of toned it down, but getting ready for Justin Gaethje, you had to. But then with your brain health, you need to protect your brain. You know what I mean? Like there's so much movies like on concussions and the movie Concussion, and we have so much information now about the brain and how you can help yourself and how you can mentally and physically help yourself get better and help the brain out. So why not use that? You know, a lot of people call me crazy. A lot of people, I keep hearing the talk about his chin gotta go this time. His chin, like when the hell is my chin? My chin was supposed to go the last 20 fights. You know what I mean? Like, what are you guys talking about? You know?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Someone either has a good chin or they don't have a good chin.
Yeah.
But you're not getting hit clean a lot. One of the things that you do a lot is you roll with shots. You're very good at rolling with shots. When you're getting hit, and I see you turning your face. I see you taking some steam off of a lot of shots. And your style is so, it's a fun style to watch, but it's also a nightmare to deal with. You're switching stances, you're constantly cutting angles. Like the volume that you put on Justin, like when Justin was having a hard time catching to you, it was very evident early on that you were on it. But it was one of those fights where it's like, damn, Justin with one punch can fuck people up. And it's just like avoiding that one punch. And then you start tuning him up. Then he dropped you. He dropped you. What round was that? Second?
Third. I think third or fourth round. I forget.
Fourth round.
Yeah, but it didn't count as a drop, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people.
It didn't count?
No, it didn't. So like they're ESPN is like posting it saying like in however many fights I'm with the UFC, right? I stayed there and get dropped. Like, that's some bullshit. You know what I mean? Get Justin down. I'll take it. You know what I mean? But I'll be a man to sit here and be. I wouldn't be a man sitting here telling you that he did, bro. All I remember getting hit by that punch, and then like I sat, and then I came back up. I was like, what the fuck did he just hit me with? You know what I mean? I was like, holy shit. I was like, that was a good punch. And then when I rewatched it, he hit me like right on the top of my dome. I was like, holy smack, brother. This guy smacks. And then I was fine as soon as I got it. It was one of those like, boom, you know, like the legs just give out. Like I was stood there, even when I was standing, I was looking at him. But that I don't know how that didn't count as a drop. But I don't know what they count as a drop because
that has to count.
Because that was crazy.
No, that's 100%. Somebody just made a mistake. But like, did you ever see Ilya Topuria when he fought Jai Herbert?
Yeah, I saw that. What's funny, I never saw the fight, but then when people was, when he was talking about fighting and we was fighting and saying, and he said something about dropping me or KOing me, and then I see the comments of him getting that left high kick getting dropped. So I was like, oh yeah. I didn't see the fight, but I saw that part happen.
It was an amazing comeback because he knocked him out in the second round.
干啥？
Man, he can take a shot because he got hit so clean with a switch kick off the left side, right shin to the chin, just perfect. I mean, it was just whack, and then his whole body just goes out, and then he grabbed a hold of his thing. Check this out. Watch this. Boom!
Yeah.
I mean, dude, watch the head snap back. Look at the head snap back. I mean, that is just shin to the chin.
Yeah.
That is just a perfect Jai Herbert head kick. But he grabbed a hold of him. And he managed to maintain his composure, got him to the ground, survives the round, and actually was winning the rest of the
early
round.
too. Look, 4 minutes.
He did a lot of wrestling. He's a very complete fighter.
Yeah,
very
he's
complete.
very good, bro. He's very good.
Very good. And his fucking boxing, man. His boxing's terrifying. I was shocked that Volk wanted to take that fight so quickly after the Makhachev fight. And if I was his friend, I would have not recommended that. But I don't know if you could talk to him. I mean, he's a champion.
He's
dudes
him,
like,
you know?
Yeah, there's dudes like that is like, Mike, we can do it, Mike.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to war. And he's a fucking animal.
No, he's an animal.
He's an animal. But the human body, the vulnerabilities of the human body are real, despite the spirit of the man.
Yeah.
Despite the spirit of the man.
You got damage. No matter your spirit, you still have something. Your brain, your muscles are still hurting. So it's going to only protect itself when it feels something. When there's a warning sign going off, like, oh man, warning, did it shut off? Because it's like, look, I'm gonna save me from myself.
Like
that's what
when
it is.
Connor fought Dustin the last time, he had a broken shin.
Yeah, his leg was broken already. It was a stress fracture, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He had a fracture going into that fight.
And he knew it. And the body's just gonna, your body's gonna give up, you know, no matter how strong the will
And
is.
think about like what that cost him.
A lot.
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. And who knows where he could have been if he hadn't taken that fight and he let. Look, it's only 8 weeks. That you got a stress fracture like that, it's like 8 weeks and it's healed, right? Because it's not all the way through.
That's crazy.
He could have healed it, and then you know.
And UFC they move mountains for that, man. So why not? Right?
I don't know if they knew it was a fracture though. It definitely was, but I think they had done MRIs on it. It was inconclusive. Turned out, but it was badly hurt. You know, you've had bone bruises before where you're like, I don't know if this is broken. You got to get it looked at.
Yeah.
They suck.
No, they hurt, bro. They hurt. Bro.
How was your left shin?
Brother, my left shin, it's all right now, but they hurt. I was about to talk about it. Bro, this guy kick hard as shit.
Yeah.
And his bones, I don't know what it was made out of, bro. I think it's titanium. Like, I like to say my chin is made out of vibranium, brother. He had a vibranium leg, bro. I was like, he went to Wakanda too? I was thinking to myself, like, how? I thought I only got to go to Wakanda. I guess he went too, you know? But, you know, at the end of the day, bro, it hurt. Like, my shin still bruised. It feels good. I move it, whatever. It was, like, stiff after the fight. In there, a lot of people I always hear you talk about it in there and be like, oh, yeah, it hurts. I don't really feel it. Like, I don't pay too much mind to it in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel when he hits it, and it's like, oh, I'm telling myself that's going to hurt later. But you got 25 minutes, you know, we got to stay in here, you know, and...
That's what's interesting is it doesn't seem to compromise your movement that much. It depends entirely upon the person. Like, some people get calf kicked once real hard, and it swells up, and you see immediately they're walking fucked up, and then they're trying to switch southpaw.
Yeah.
They're trying to switch stances.
Yeah.
But you don't seem to have as much of a problem with it.
Yeah, it wasn't really a problem. I know it hurts. I know it's going to be hurt after the fight, but then even that, like, switching stance is the most craziest thing to me. Well, after getting, like, completely landed nicely there. Because if I switch stance, he screwed up 2 of my legs. What I'm going to do, crawl over to him?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd rather have 1 leg than 2 legs messed up, you know? So, and then,
I think that's you. I think you're particularly durable. Because some guys, like, you've seen what happens with Pereira. He kicks you a couple of times in that leg, and that leg's fucked up, man.
Messed up.
Everybody. Even Jan Blachowicz, who's made out of rocks.
Yeah.
Jan's, like, his bones are made out of stone. Remember when he was going with Ankalaev? He went shin to shin with him?
Yeah.
He was just cracking shins with him and fucking his leg up.
Yeah, and then a guy like, bro, did you see that picture of me and Alex? Did you guys see the picture of me and Alex? They face swapped them?
Yeah.
They put my face on Alex Ferrara. Try to look it up, brother. He looked like Thanos, bro. And Manny Moicano, bro. Manny Moicano is like, yeah, fuck this guy. You know, Manny Moicano is like, yeah, fuck that guy, bro. You gotta kill that man. Manny Pacquiao's the funniest guy,
He's
bro.
so
I love
funny,
that guy,
man.
bro.
He's
Brother, he
so
was like,
funny.
I saw on Twitter, he was like, people asking me to fight Max because he's 9 and I'm 10 or something, or 8 and 9 or something like that. Are you fucking crazy? He's like, I'll fight him if we have one rule, no punching. I love Manny Pacquiao, bro.
He's a funny dude. Man, he almost lost that Jalen Turner fight. That was
Brother.
crazy. What happened there?
Jalen Turner tried to look cool and get a walk-off KO, and it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. You can't do that. You gotta follow up. That was the fight. Like, if he beat Moicano, man, and Jalen had him. He had him.
I was at the hotel room still watching that fight. We was watching it, and yeah, I was tripping out. And you know what's funny? As soon as that happened, I was like, I told my coach, I was like, you know, it'd be funny if Manny Pacquiao comes out and rear naked in the next round, and he finishes on the next round. I was like, damn. I was like, whoa. It wasn't funny, but it was like, damn, that's amazing.
Well, Jalen is so long. He's so dangerous too. His knockout power, like at length, he catches guys on the end of shots. You can't even come close to him, and he's cracking you. And he's got nasty power. And you know that Moicano dude, he
tough.
He's very tough. The fact that he figured it out, he's like, fuck all this standing. I'm gonna grab that dude and drag him to the ground.
Smart, bro. Smart.
Yeah.
IQ. That's fight IQ, bro.
What a card that was.
Oh, brother. From the first one, bro. I had family and friends that came to the fight, and they went to the first fight.
Cody Garbrandt and Jameson Figueiredo.
You had to, bro. You had to.
Imagine you got 2 former world champions going at it in the first fight.
Yeah, that's insane, brother.
And 2 guys that are still awesome.
And it was fighting.
Oh,
it was a fight, bro.
It was a really good
fight.
Yeah.
How crazy was it when he went for the handstand kick? Imagine he landed that kick on Stuff's face when Stuff went for the handstand and then he just went for a regular leg kick.
Yeah.
And almost kicked him in the head. That was crazy.
Yeah, those cartwheel kicks are ridiculous.
Crazy. You gotta set him up, brother. You can't be just throwing them freely like that, you know.
Well, Justin tried Rolling Thunder on you in the last round, right?
I knew he was gonna try it. I knew it. That's what Justin's known for, you know. So I knew he was gonna do it. We knew he was gonna do a couple stuff. We knew power punches, leg kicks. I was thinking if we got later in the rounds or if he was getting comfortable, he's gonna try and do the Rolling Thunder kick. So we was ready for it, you know.
He's got this weird ability to kick your legs like in a clinch.
Close, bro. Yeah. I heard you talking about how his hip is so flexible that he can just kick. Bro, it was almost like, you know what it reminded me. It wasn't a high kick, of course, but you know what his leg kick reminded me of? It reminded me of Yair's high kick. Like, me and Yair could be nose to nose and a fucking kick comes up. I'm like, holy shit. Like, he did it to me one time.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, why are you guys so flexible? And even, like, with Justin, with his leg kick, bro, like, some of them, even his angles that he take on his kick, I'm like, you're not hitting me with this. And he cracks me his whole shin across my knee. I'm like, what is going on? How are you landing this? It's like, his angles is weird, bro. He has some weird angles for sure.
Well, he's very unique in a lot of ways. He's a very unique style, very unique mentality. He's a unique guy. But the leg kicks in the clinch, when he was it still PFL back then?
It was PFL. I know which one you were talking about. The one that he was in the clinch and he was leg
kicking and full power leg kicks. I think
he TKO'd that guy.
Oh,
he TKO'd that guy.
It's horrible to watch because you're dealing with the clinch. And you're thinking, oh, we're just clinching here. And he's just killing your leg. Like no one can.
Yeah.
Like no one can. I don't know anybody else who kicks the legs from the clinch like Justin Gaethje does.
Full power clinch. You know how you do that heel kick? That's what people do. They usually grab that heel and they hit it, whatever. Yeah. But like this guy is like straight Jose Aldo running leg kicking to you in the clinch. Right? You know, it's insane.
Think about all the guys you fought, Max. I mean, you have fought the best of the best. You fought everybody. Except Makhachev, there's like everybody of your era you fought.
Yeah, well, the Makhachev fight is not too far off, so yeah, you know, never say never. I got a couple more years in me for sure.
What do you think, like, if you had to plan it out? Okay, so here we got Poirier and Makhachev are fighting. They're fighting next, and that's going to be, what is that, New Jersey?
New Jersey.
So let's say Makhachev wins. If Makhachev wins, well, even if Poirier wins,
hey, bro, if Poirier wins, that'd be a fun fight.
It's a great rematch.
We have history, you know, especially at 55. We have 45.
And make it a double belt,
brother. I would love that, brother.
The double belt.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
The double belt. The double belt. First time ever.
That'd be crazy.
BMF and the lightweight title on the line.
That'd be crazy.
wow, that would be wild. But even if whoever wins, but then I really like. No, here's the thing. At 55, you look fantastic. You look bigger. You look stronger. I'm sure it felt better. Like you didn't have to
it felt good, bro.
lose all that weight.
Bro. The cut was good. The cut was a cut. Don't get me wrong, but it was beautiful, brother. I was eating sushi all week.
Yeah.
Eating more. I eat sushi when I go to 45 too, but I was eating more sushi all week, bro. I was loving it.
Do you think that that's better for you?
We see what happens, you know. I feel like I still have unfinished business at 45. I want to get the title. I mean, before this fight, you know, we only had like a couple of options. After this fight, the whole main goal with this fight was like just have all the options. That was my mentality going. Yeah, that was my mentality going into this fight. The mentality was let's have all the options. We go out there, we do something spectacular. You know, I'm right up there with the top 55ers. I'm right up. I still have my spot with the 45ers. And then, you know, to my surprise, after the fight, they announced a Conor versus Chandler fight. So it's like, me and Conor have some history, so there's options. You know what I mean? So.
And they're talking about doing something at 65. I know DC's been saying this. I don't know what he knows. I haven't pressed him.
I'm sure DC knows something. That guy only talks about stuff when he knows. He's
clever.
DC, he tries to. This is what DC acts about that. You know DC. You call a lot of fights with him. You know him as a person. He don't talk about nothing unless he knows something is going on, brother.
Right.
It's either.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's either he knows something going on or he's just bullshitting. So it's either it's one or the other. You know? He never ever plays the middle. Exactly. With that, you know what I mean? I know he doesn't bullshit, but I know he sees other stuff. It's like, it's crazy. Like, cause I saw him talking about the BMF. Did you see that one with that bit with RC? When he told RC that who should fight for the BMF, and I know no disrespect to him, but like, come on, DC, what the hell? He's just so offline on that side, you know.
He's so out of pocket.
Yeah, he's so out of pocket, like calling that, you know.
Well, he's out of pocket because he's just so biased towards wrestling.
Yeah.
He's like, there's been no takedowns in the BMF fights. Like,
I think that's what a BMF belt is, you know.
Well, it can be takedowns if it happens, but you know, to have it just because you want takedowns, you want to bring a wrestler. But that belt is a special belt. You know, it's a wild belt. It's like
it is wild.
It's wild. These are wild fights.
That's right. You know what's funny? Like a lot of it's funny because these MMA guys, some guys who just like even doing MMA. I see everything. From like low-level MMA guys just trying to come up to mid to high, and before this fight, everybody was working on the BMF, whatever, blah blah blah. And then now that I got it, I'm happy to see that it's actually getting its work. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, everybody's saying, "Oh, no undisputed." Well, I was an undisputed champion. I have the BMF belt. What is it? You know, you cannot tell. I'm fighting #1 contender and keep fighting and champion. What now? You tell me what it is. You know, at the end of the day, the belt is cool, and I always tell everybody the belt is cool. I always understand. What brings with the belt, what the emotions it brings, and what kind of fight it brings to a card. You know, like that our fight. A lot of people were saying could have been the main event of 300. You know what I mean? So it's insane. You know.
100%. And the crazy thing is, there was 2 insane fights after your fight. Your fight was so good that 2 insane world title fights afterwards.
It happened after,
and still people are talking about your fight.
And I feel so bad for the girls because I was watching that fight in the back after doing my media, and it was such a crazy fight, brother. But I think so people was just had an adrenaline dump because of what happened in the last fight. You know,
I lost my voice. I really did. I've never lost my voice ever in a UFC fight. But when you dropped him, it's the first time I ever stood up. I couldn't sit down. I was standing up. I was just like,
I saw that. I saw you stand up. That's the first time.
It was just, what? Dana had the greatest quote in the post-fight press conference. He said, I felt holy shit moments. People asked me, I couldn't even sit down. I had to get up. I had to hold on to those guys. I'm holding on to them.
That's awesome.
It's funny when they started putting cameras on us. Because we've been doing that forever. And DC and I go crazy. We hug each other. We go nuts.
Yeah.
When something crazy happens, like, what?
What? I'm glad they did. To see fans and reactions to the fight is cool, but they're fans. But then when you see like our peers and guys like you and and other fighters and commentators of the sport that you've been around forever. So to see you do that brings a humongous ass smile to my face. Like, holy shit, I just made Joe Rogan stand the hell out, you know? So
I say to this day, and I do it based on my reaction. Obviously, this is personal. I say it's the greatest knockout of all time. The reason why I say it's the greatest knockout of all time is because everybody thought that Justin was going to be overpowering you. He was a bigger guy. He had just knocked out Dustin Poirier. You had lost the last fight to Volkanovski. You had a bunch of great wins, but here you're going to fight this bigger guy, and all these people were writing you off. All these people were saying that, and you're tuning him up. And you did have to overcome getting knocked down, and you did have and then for you to stand, winning 4 rounds to 1 in the middle of the octagon, pointing the ground with 10 seconds left, and then to knock him out with 1 second left. The way I reacted, the way I jumped up, I've never done that before. Even when Leon Edwards knocked out Usman, that was another crazy one.
Yeah, that was
Before
crazy.
that, I would have said that was the greatest knockout of all time because he was down.
Yeah.
He was down 4 rounds, and John Anik just had the perfect call. He said that is not the cloth from which he is cut.
And then boom, yeah.
And then boom, he
Yeah,
has his head kick like it's a movie.
Yeah.
So that was number 1 before. You are number 1 now.
Thank you, brother.
That's number 1. Because just impact, all-time, like, complete polar shift of how people think about the BMF belt. They don't think about it as a gimmick at all anymore. Because it was the wildest, crazy fight with an undeniable number 1 contender in Justin versus you. It's wild how it happened.
Yeah,
The whole thing was wild.
I mean, you're only as good as your last fight, right? That's what it is. This sport, I like to tell everybody, you know, this is not like basketball. This is not like baseball or like hockey where you can just shit the bed on a Tuesday and then you come back out on Friday and then you're just the man of the world again. You know, like you shit like this stuff happen. You have a bad fight like with Alex, that fight don't get erased off until even if you had a good fight, you know what I mean? Like I had a good fight with Arnold, but they still like, Alex, they did that. And then I did it with Korean Zombie, and then I had a knockout with Korean Zombie, and then they're like, yeah, but Korean is old and blah, blah, blah. And then finally, now with this Justin, now everybody forgets, you know, like it takes us a while to make people forget about your last fight, you know, so it was amazing, bro, you know, like to see everybody go crazy, like in my mind, like a lot of people ask me, what's going through your mind when you're doing that? You're up 4-1, I'm like, brother, that was in my mind the whole time. I'm like, bro, we went to 10 seconds. I was like, I remember I remember it being a minute. I remember my coach yelling, 15. And then I was like, man, oh, hell yeah, 15 more seconds until we go to the center, I'm gonna swing in my back. And then he's like, 40 seconds. I'm like, holy shit, this clock is slow. You know what I mean? I'm like, why is it taking forever? And then he's like counting down, like 30 seconds. And then he's like, okay, 20 seconds. And then he does, we go right after the 20 seconds mark, underneath, a couple seconds after, he does his rolling thunder. And then he pushed me to perfectly circle out. And then that's when I said, I did the, like, oh, come here, you know, let's go here, let's throw it. Because that was just, everybody's losing their mind. But to me, this is normal. You know, this is the second time. This is the second time I did it, you know. Yeah. Of course, the second time I'm doing it, I heard you guys say, the first time was with Ricardo, but this ain't no Justin Gaethje, you know. Right. But you know, why not? Why not? If he was to put me out, then so be it. You know, live by the sword.
Well, it was a wild ending to the fight. There's the rolling thunder. Damn, that was a nice rolling thunder too. That was nice. It was close. Now right here. Oh, this is so crazy, Max. Oh.
That was crazy, yeah.
It's the greatest. It has to be the greatest knockout. It has to be.
长老怎么会放外面的人进来？
And then you flexing, walking around. Come on, man. That's the greatest knockout of all time.
They got the sickest picture of me, bro. They had the sickest picture of me of when I'm flexing and I'm over. I love Justin, bro. I freaking love the man, but. They have like the, you know, like the Muhammad Ali picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a moment of me like that. So
I got a painting for you. I told you I got a Ross Baines. He's an amazing artist. He made an incredible painting, and it's on the way. I had someone go back to the house go grab it.
Sick.
But yeah, that was a
wild moment, man.
Just complete shift of what people care about in upcoming fights. Like, you are the fucking man now. Like whatever next pay-per-view you're in, holy shit, that's gonna be big.
Bro,
and if it's you and Makachev, or if it's you and Ilya would be crazy.
Brother, so much
Woo!
fun. So much fun, brother. I know.
Is that Spain? Is that 305? When is there going to be a UFC? Perth is 305, right?
I don't think they're gonna go Spain this year. I don't think they can. I think so. Dana White said it in the 300 conference, after fight conference. He said that we're going with Spain. It just takes a time because you got to book something, and it's like gonna be like a year and out. So.
Good. That fight should
I
be
mean,
in Vegas.
Vegas.
Vegas. Let's go Vegas.
I hope Vegas.
Or Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Or Vegas, Allegiant Stadium. 66,000. Brother, that's what it is. You was there 300 night, bro. Did you not see all the Hawaiian flags?
They were everywhere.
Bro, that is the 9th island, brother. Give me. You cannot. We can't go to UFC Hawaii. Give me Allegiant Stadium, and let's go crazy there.
Oh my god. You could sell it. Allegiant Stadium for a big UFC, 100% they can sell it. I mean, every UFC sells out like that. They sell out so quick. There's so many scalp tickets. And a fight like that, especially if they put together a banger of a card, because you know they're doing the Sphere, which is going to be wild.
Yeah.
That's going to be wild.
Who do you think will be in the Sphere?
That's a good question, right? Because it's Mexican Independence Day? Yes, it's September.
Yeah, well,
so I don't think they have it set up. Like who?
Yeah, Mexicans like to count me as their own, so I might even be in the Sphere. Who knows?
They count you?
Yeah.
For your style?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Man. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Fuck. What a crazy night, Max. What a crazy night. And to have that happen, again, like where there's two amazing fights after yours.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's still just talking about your fight.
Yeah, I know. I mean, even with the, I remember as soon as the fight happened, a couple minutes after, my agent, Tim Simpson, came in and he told me, hey, he's like, brother, they just put your knockout on top of Instagram, and YouTube and everything. I was like, what?
They never do that.
Yeah, they never do that. They only did it for Sugar. And I was like, what? This is crazy. So we saw, I thought they was lying, and they saw it was there.
Three different angles, and I reposted it.
Yeah.
I was like, if UFC's posting this, I'm posting this shit too. Like, this is the craziest knockout of all time.
Bro, the craziest angle is the one when they pause me and then they do a 360 view and then they play it again. I'm like, bro, that's insane, bro.
Yeah. What does it feel like when it's all over? Does it feel like it's moving? What does it feel like when it's over?
Brother, I'm still getting used to it. I don't even know, I feel normal. Life still normal, but like I'm getting, brother, walking down 6th Street last night to get my dinner, I was getting harassed. Like not harassed, like nice day harassed, but like people like like I always get noticed, but like these guys, like it's out and about way more, and so it's just amazing, bro. Even like guys who don't even look like they watch fighting, grandmas and grandpas at airports, like, hey, you're the guy, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy.
Well, that clip got so viral too. That clip was so viral. It was everywhere. It was TikTok, YouTube. It was everywhere.
Bro, we one of my other agent on our team, Daniel, he did like, he's like a numbers guy or whatever. And the Google search on me was like crazy, bro. I think so. It was in like the billions. Like after the fight, it was insane. It was something stupid. I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know you could look that up. I told him.
Yeah, that's what makes it very interesting for your next fight. Because your next fight is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Like, you're a fucking bona fide superstar now. Like, your next fight's going to be nuts.
Can't wait, bro. Can't wait. I don't know who it is, who it was, what the UFC want to do. But, like you said, that option, bro. In this game, you're all about options.
There's so many options.
Yeah.
And there's so many options in your area, too, right? Like, Sugar has been talking about fighting Topuria at 45. Well, if Sugar's willing to fight Topuria at 45, he's willing to fight Max at 45, right?
Yeah,
that
would be fun.
Crazy. There's crazy matchups all over the place.
In a perfect world, you ask me, in a perfect world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a perfect world, if I could have it my way, I'd be stupid to not say to fight Conor. I think that Conor fight would be huge, whatever, but we don't know what he's going to do. So, like, if that's out, in a perfect world to me, it would be fight Ilya, 45 title, get my hand raised, and whoever's the next guy up at 55, fight them, try and go for double champ status, whatever it is. or even treat belts. You know, like 45, the BMF, and then put the BMF and the 55 against whoever had 55, and that'd be surreal. You know, I think that would be crazy.
Well, there's
crazy
another
steps.
option too. If they really do this Conor 165 title, there's an option of you being a 3 champ.
That'd be insane. If they did the 165, it'd be fun. That would be fun.
You'd have to cut any weight.
Oh no.
You could eat sushi every day.
No, I would eat sushi way in there. So I would eat on the scale.
What is your walk around weight like? What's right now?
Me right now, I walk around like before I used to get to a big boy, but now I walk around like 70, 75. Nothing crazy.
Oh, that's not too crazy.
Yeah, nothing crazy. I was in there against. They make us check our weight now, and I was only 172 when we went in against Gaethje.
When you were fighting at featherweight, what did you weigh in when you fought?
I would be around like 65. I'd get up high 60s, maybe 68 at the highest.
So I know you did a lot of strength and conditioning. Your YouTube channel is great, by the way.
Oh, thank you, brother.
And it's really cool how you document pretty much everything. You're showing all your training, all the
Yes,
different
sir.
stuff. So you did a lot of strength and conditioning.
We did a lot of strength. So a lot of people was talking about matching Gaethje's strength. And our team didn't want to. We wanted to be strong, but we still wanted to be fast. We knew we was faster than Gaethje. So our main focus, everybody thought it was strength and getting big to be strong and to, of course, endure his strikes, you know. But the main thing that we wanted to focus on was speed. Like I knew I could outgun him, and in the fit round when we really hurt him, I outgunned him with speed. You know, I hit him with like five hits, and the one that you don't see hurt you the most. You know, and the last right hand in that little combination early in the fit round is what hurt him the most. You know, made him like I stunned him a little bit. So we're just working on speed, brother. You know, like we had 12 weeks. You really can't. I wasn't willing to put strength to give up conditioning. So I was like, I'm gonna be speed and condition, and that's the way I fight. You know, if you go look at it, a lot of people is looking at stats for mines in his fight about like how much he throws in strikes and how much I throw in strikes, how much he gets hit, which was less than how much I get hit, and I was like, brother, that cannot be right. And then the stats is, you know, and I'm like, no way. And then when you look at the stats, this guy had 12 fights, and I had like 20 plus fights in the UFC. That's what come our stats is so close to each other, because I had so much more fights than his. And then even that, I had a lot of time in the octagon, and he just didn't, because he would knock guys out. You know what I mean? He had that beautiful power. So, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, some of the numbers that these guys is putting out there, I was like, brother, you guys need to do your guys' homework. You know, you need to stop looking at the surface level, like start digging deep into it.
Yeah. When it was interesting what you just said about strength and conditioning. You're not willing to give up conditioning for strength. So how do you approach that? Like when you made a decision to go to 55. So the Poirier fight, you go to 55, but you did it on pretty short notice, right?
Yeah. We had like. So the way we train is I always take 2 weeks off before a fight. So it was like 6 weeks, and then so we actually had 4 weeks to train for him. And I was like, I mean, put up the picture of Poirier punching me in my face. There's a famous picture of Poirier punching me in my face.
Explain that. When you said you take 2 weeks off before the fight, what do you mean?
So like strength and conditioning. So I don't do no strength and conditioning like the week before the fight. Like maybe we do like a little lift, whatever, but it's just something you maintain. Like, cause you can't get faster or stronger 2 weeks before a fight, or even the week, right? So even with cardio, it's not gonna. Anything I do the week before the fight is not gonna help me, and anything I do the week of the fight is not gonna help me. All the hard work is done.
Right.
And that's what these guys. Yeah. Look how fat I was. Look at that top right one. That top right one right there. Look how fat I was. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. That's muffin top max.
So you just.
As he zooms in. Wow. You're an asshole. Huh?
So you only had 4 weeks, and there's no way you could put on that amount of muscle.
Or anything, and I was like, and I didn't have my beautiful wife at the time, so, you know, eating meals was crazy before. I ate out every day. That was terrible. Now she cooks me, now she keeps, so it is what it is, you know. I hate using excuses, because, you know, Dustin, I came out there and fought hard. We fought hard, and I ain't taking nothing away from Dustin, so whatever I did was on me, and, you know, if that fight, if we get a third one, then I think it'd be pretty fun. That'd be crazy. How much is the odds of betting on him dropping a gilly?
I'm gonna try. You know, I didn't know that he was referencing William Montgomery. the comedian, when I ain't never gonna stop.
Oh, bro.
That's what he was doing. He was doing William Montgomery from Kill Tony. I didn't know, and I'm friends with William Montgomery. I love that dude. And
You're not a good friend, then, Joe. What the hell?
you know, I felt like a bad friend. But really what it is like when I'm doing an interview after such a crazy fight like that, interviews are complicated.
We're locked in.
I'm trying to get this guy to express himself as much as possible. I'm trying to stay out of the way, but I'm also trying to ask questions, and so I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah.
Plus, I was like, no way.
Yeah, you're locked in, bro.
But Tony texted me, he goes, "Did you just quote William Montgomery?" I'm like, no way, really? Is that what they like?
And then he texted me, fuck me. Right?
No, they had been going back and forth. Dustin told me he was going to say it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. They've been DMing each other.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
bro,
hilarious.
Dustin's Dustin's one of those. Bro, he's one of the good guys.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. I love Dustin. And I was glad for him to and lost him.
Monster killer, bro. He's a killer, bro.
Yeah. And that's another fight, right? Look, didn't he get stabbed? He got stabbed on his forehead. He's got to take antibiotics. It drained. Have you ever had stabbed?
No, bro.
That's amazing.
Brother, I'm clean, I guess.
I guess.
You're
doing something, right?
Some guys are some good mother-effers, I think, you know? No, I know. Some guys, once he's in your system, you just gotta get reawakened, right? One of our friends, like, he's pretty bad at it. Yeah, it's terrible. He does everything. I don't know what it is. It's just bad luck, I think.
Another thing is like people mistakenly use antibacterial soap. Like you don't want antibacterial soap. You want to keep it healthy. I tell everybody, I know the guy owns the company. I have no affiliation with it, but Defense Soap. If you're a grappler, it's the shit. Defense Soap is all natural. It's like tea tree oil, eucalyptus oil, and he has all kinds of products. Everything from stuff to clean, like wipes. If you can't get to a shower quick enough, if you're training in a place that's kind of dingy and doesn't have a shower, they have wipes until you get home. They have soaps and ointments.
That's the most crazy thing, though, right? I see people you train, and then we have a shower, and then some of them just clean their clothes, and I gotta go. I was like, what the hell? You shower? I said, no, I gotta leave. I was like, what the hell? No way, Like, I live like 45 minutes. Some of them live like maybe 15 minutes. But 15 minutes is enough for a ringworm or something to wake up, So it's like, well, just jump in there and ring
I've had staff twice. I've had ringworm a couple of times. The defense soap is shit. Tell everybody. Get on that. Mess up. It's all natural. It's like tea tree oil. It smells good. It doesn't fuck up your skin for it. I knew this dude. So he started using antibacterial soap. He got it everywhere. All spread all over his chest.
And then what it does too, it burns your skin. So like when you use that kind of stuff with ringworm, I remember people used to like bleach it. And then you'd be bleached. You'd have a bleach circle or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's a crazy move for bleach on an open wound. What the fuck are you doing? So for this fight, how much notice did you have that you were going to fight with the guy and that you were going to fight against?
Brother, so there is an idea of maybe it's going to happen for a while, but we didn't know, and then we got confirmed. I think it was like 10 to 12 weeks, Like I don't know what it was. It was like 10 to 12 weeks, so it was like more than enough time. This is like, we had so much time, brother. We was planning. I got the train, I got the lift. We was training a lot. My last fight was in August. So I was in the gym training, getting ready. Brother, after the Volk and Islam 2 fight, I was like, there's no way they're letting this guy turn around. So I really thought they was gonna try and ask me to go fight Ilya in January or something. I went to Toronto. I fought in Toronto twice. I won an interim. I defended the belt there. I have a following in Toronto. I call it the 10th island, I like to call it. But I love the Canadians, bro. They're literally the best. So I was thinking, like, man, we're gonna get caught. Like, there's no way that he's gonna fight, and then he did. They just moved it from January to February. They put the other card, whatever. They switched it around. So I was already training, and then yeah, I couldn't tell you when, but I knew we had at least 12 weeks. At least 12 weeks.
When did you know that it was going to be 55, and when did you know it was going to be for the BMX belt? That was 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
So
12 weeks.
had you already had a plan to put weight on? Or do you already have a plan, like strength and conditioning plan? And
For sure. As soon as the talks of maybe we might even fight Gaethje at all, was like, we just gotta. Our plan was what I said was like, you gotta put on size to endure damage, but then let's not lose this speed. That's my head coach, Darren Yap, the tactical straight, the best strength and conditioning in all of Hawaii. And if somebody got a problem, then they can meet me somewhere, anywhere, you know. but you know, all jokes aside, he's the man, bro, and he's the one that was like, yeah, you know, like I like, look, I know you want to get stronger. He's the one that came up with it. Like, I know you want to get stronger, but we still need your speed, bro. We still need your speed, and we gotta outwork this guy. You know, like, oh, he always weaponized my cardio. Like, brother, whoever we fight, you're gonna outwork him. So let's just get your speed up, stay fast, get a little bit bigger without being too much to get to. He was the main one. He's like, I don't want to give up strength. I don't want to give up conditioning for strength, brother. Like,
because the
you're strong.
idea is the more muscle you have, the more endurance it's going to require.
Yeah, and especially like even with everybody, like I train with bigger guys, you know, here and there, and I never ever once felt like, holy shit, this guy is so much stronger than me. Like I never ever once felt that way. You know, you hear these talks of some people saying, oh, this guy's pretty strong. So I try to go with him. I was like, yeah, he's alright. You know, it's not like, oh my god, he's really strong. So I feel like I know how to fight to my strengths, I guess. Like, yeah, he might be physically stronger than me, but I know certain techniques or certain ways to put my body that I can get away with how strong I am and not make him feel as strong as he is. You know? And that's what it is, you know. I keep telling a lot of these MMA guys are just people coming up, even like amateur fighters that's coming up. I just keep telling them, like, brother, there's no difference between me and you. The only difference is my experience, you know, like even with UFC fighters, the only difference between top 15 and top 10 is experience and their mindset, you know. 5, experience mindset, 5 to championship, same thing, and then champion, maybe like the top 3 guy. After that, it's like it's just mind. Most of these things that is hard is because you make it hard. A lot of guys make it hard for themselves. I'm like, what are you doing? You're beating yourself up for what? You just fucking practice, get better. You know, that's all you gotta do. Stop beating yourself up. And
but you have a great mentality for that. You're able to like go past losses easily. It is what it is, and you keep moving, and you're on the path. But for some people, like the losses are devastating because their whole identity is based on success. Yeah. If they don't get success, then they feel like they're a loser.
But even with that whole identity thing, that's what it is. Like even when like you see guys with retiring from other sports or our sport, like they have that identity crisis because they're so known for one thing, and then that's when I tell them like that's when I love doing other stuff. Like people, bro, oh my god, I stream on Kick now. I stream on Kick.com, and brother, during the whole fight, yup, thank you for this, Max. I'm putting my house on Gaethje now. He's training while you playing fucking video games. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, bro, I need to be training for 24 hours a day? Like a cyborg or something? What the hell? Like, yup. Look at you over here. I do slots in there, you know, I gamble, like, we play fun. Yup, look at you doing this shit. You're gonna lose your fight too. I'm like,
I don't mean anything bad to you guys out there, but if you're commenting to a guy like that, you're a loser. There's no way you're a winner. It's not possible. It's not possible that you're excelling at whatever you do. No one comes to you like, that's Mike, he's the best. No chance. If you're commenting like that on people, you're a loser. And that's unfortunate. I've been a loser in my life, you know? It's common. It's common, but you're a loser. And winners don't think that way. The idea that a guy can't play some video games and unwind while he's in the middle of camp, you're out of your fucking mind. You don't understand.
Yeah,
you don't understand what you're talking about.
That's what I like talking to Mighty.
Mighty's the best.
Yeah, he's a man, and he was just telling me, like, it's so funny because every time I tell everybody like fighting is easy, like a lot of people look at me crazy. They're like, it's easy. I was like, bro, anything you do in life easy. It's just that you make it hard. A lot of assholes make it hard for themselves. Like, it's actually pretty easy, you know? It's like, if you look at the steps, these are the steps. Yeah, you might fall down in the sense of actually getting it done. It's going to be hard work, but it's easy because you know what you got to do, right? And I told Mighty when I told Mighty about fighting, Mighty was the first guy ever that said, bro, that's what I tell everybody. I tell fighting is easy. I was like, holy shit! If the MMA GOAT is telling you fighting is easy, stop harassing me. Go harass him. You know what I mean? Go tell him. He said it too.
I think it's easy for you, and I think it's easy for Mighty because you guys are real champions. You have this champion mindset, and that's what people need to learn. You need to learn a mindset for improvement, a mindset for getting better at things, and a mindset for staying positive. That's what it is. That's really what it's about. You can apply that to anything in life. So a guy like you that's a champion in MMA, you could do anything. All you need is just like whatever that thing is, focus on that thing, and if you put the same kind of attention on that thing that you put on your MMA career.
As I told, I tell everybody, it's so funny whenever me and my wife, she always like, you're so lucky I wasn't surfing. I was surfing. I'm bad at surfing, okay? I'm bad, but I told her, but you're lucky that I don't put my effort into it, because I want to be badass.
Yeah, I'm sure, and that's a fact. How did you get so good at that jump spinning back kick?
Brother, just practice, bro.
Did anybody show you?
Do you remember me telling you it was here in the bio clip about me learning strikes in the game? That's one of the strikes.
Yeah.
That's one of the strikes, brother. I saw the strikes in the game. I was like, Henning Barral threw it nice. I was like, with Dustin Kimura, I told him, brother, we need to do this new back kick shit.
Yeah.
It's just so good, and it's a secret weapon. And then the thing is funny because in the game I was throwing it close. Like a lot of people throw it from distance, but I throw it real close, like almost in clinch.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, and I told him like, bro, this is going to be a secret weapon. I remember Dustin Kimura, he was in the UFC for a little bit, and I was trying to make him practice it with me. I remember him saying one time like, fuck this kid, this kid is stupid as hell. And then we kept practicing. Another guy, a big guy, came down, trained us, and he dropped a back kick from the clinch, right? And I was like, what I told you, brother. I told you, this big kick is a secret weapon.
How were you practicing it close up?
He would just stand close. I was like, bro, like I'd get my timing from it being a distance first, and then we'd be like a little bit closer and be like, bro, all we gotta focus on is bringing the knee up and then pushing it out at the last second. And the main thing was just bringing your knee up and snapping your head around. Snap your head around first, see where you'll land, so you don't kick each other in the freaking groin area, because it happens a couple times to me and him. So, but yeah, it was like bringing me up high, look, and then push it.
Do you ever practice where you stand right next to the bag?
Yeah, I practice on my bag. Yeah. Try
just jump back.
I jumping away from the bag and then stab.
Yes, exactly. If you can develop that, that is a secret weapon. Because it's one of those techniques that's like, remember when the calf kick came along, everybody's gonna throw a calf kick. If you could develop that, Yair has it. Yair does it really well. This was a giant moment in the beginning of the fight. Look how close you are. Look how close you are. To be able to get that off from there and to hit him in the nose, his nose was gone. I mean, you shattered his nose at the very end of the first round. And from then on, I watched that fight at least 10 times. No bullshit. At least. I watched it over and over again in the gym.
I would lie to you.
And look, dude, I always pause. No matter what I'm doing. If I'm at the gym, I pause for that last 10 seconds. Just like this, like, how is this real? How is this real? You got that jump spinning back and down. You got it down in the most unusual way, which is to hop back and then throw it. Like Raymond Daniels does that really good.
Bro, even you, like back in the day, it was a video game, and then I started looking at spinning back kicks. There's a clip of you hitting and killing me.
Yeah.
And I was like, Joe Rogan can fight? I was like, what the hell is going on? This guy's killing you.
There's only one clip of me in a Taekwondo fight. It's me knocking him out. Instead of flying. But it's the same exact move. The guy's moving forward, and I just jump and spin at the same time. It was the same move, because I was like in the air when I landed.
That's crazy.
That was my favorite thing to do. So when I see a guy like you from up close, and I think, you learned how to fucking strike on a video game, which is so great. When you told me that the first time, I was like, what? I thought, oh, he went to like a traditional karate school, then he started studying Muay Thai when he was 10. No.
I saw cool stuff happening in the game. Real life, Dustin. We never had training. I didn't have Ivan yet. And then after the Connor fight, Ivan started going to my camp. So, and then with him, bro, Ivan is a genius. Like he's like, bro, like he loves the basic stuff. But then when I try to tell him or short fancy stuff, or I see Muay Thai doing shit like shoot the leg and like elbow and stuff or whatever, it's like, it's crazy, you know. Like even this fight week, bro. Like, if you watch the fight, a bunch of times I'm doing this right kick. I did a right kick and then I just step over on my right hand or get straight kick. We saw that, like I practiced that. I do that a bunch of times in other fights. But then, like 2 weeks before the fight, he sent me a clip on Instagram. Like, oh, look at this, watch this. And I forget who it was, but the guy, the Muay Thai guy was right kick. He set up with a right low kick, next one right low kick, right overhand. And he kills guys. He's like downing guys with it. And I was like, holy shit. We know Justin likes to like stay there after kicks to throw. So I was like, brother, this is gonna work with Justin. So we just kind of added in our game. We're talking about, I think we want to throw some fights. Like, yeah, it's practice. You know, so Ivan Flores is the man, bro. He's the man.
You have an amazing camp.
Yeah, bro, all my coaches are the man.
You really do have an amazing group of people, but you also, it's the argument that a lot of guys have been making, kind of smaller camp is maybe better for some athletes. Because there's a lot of guys who want to go to like ATT, but you know, the guy, like I talked to Jim Miller about this, and he said that he really started improving much more when he concentrated on himself and he had a smaller camp, and he stopped teaching.
Yeah, I know. And at the end of the day, these big camps, you know, like even in Vegas, bro, like I hear everybody going to Vegas and training and like, bro, like one of the guys out there told me, he's like, Wild Wild West. So like, how do you get better? Every day you're going to train and just knowing I might fight this guy. Exactly. You know what I mean? I might have to fight this guy. You know, like I have guys my weight, some guys my weight in my class, and I tell them, like I would tell them, like if we ever got to the point where we both in the UFC were fighting fucking a lot of money, like you better sign that damn contract. We done kill each other here, but you my brother, you know, we done kill each other and stuff for free. You be stupid as hell chasing in the UFC or whatever. But that's different from going to a big gym and actually being worried. Like I'm not worried. I do fight, but like some of these guys, you're going there and fighting your life. It's like a fight every day of the week, and that shit is gonna fucking like mentally, brother. That is gonna beat you down every day. Going like, oh my god, I'm fighting for my life here. Oh my god, like bro, I feel fighter, like everybody can call me a liar and whatever, but bro, in the fight I'm nervous as hell. In the back, bro, with the Justin fight, this last one, I was telling people, I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I fighting Justin? What the hell are you doing, Max? You know, like that, bro. I'm not even lying. I'm in the back. I'm in the back thinking like, fucking, like, what are we doing? You told me that this is the last time. What the hell? This is, it's like now you're on UFC 300. You be fucking a million people gonna buy this pay-per-view. What the hell are you doing? And then as soon as the lights come on, I start hearing my song. That's when it changes, you know. And then it's like it's go time. It's like, nah, Max, you can't be fucking working at McDonald's making this much money. Let's go get this paper. You know what I mean? That's it. You gotta own McDonald's if you're making this much money, brother. You don't own shit. So let's go get it.
You can own multiple McDonald's with the next one.
Yeah. So that was the that was it. You know. So you gotta switch, flip the switch, and then. And a lot of my coaches, they didn't know my walkout song was funny because they was like, is he gonna do it? Because they was waiting for me to walk out to an Israel song, right? Come out, people on it. Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? And then we walked up to Hawaiian Superman, Maui Hawaiian Superman. So I loved it, but I think it was perfect. They made you was out there in the crowd. I don't know if you could see it. Oh yeah, on your screen, they made it look like the ocean, bro. Mm-hmm. They made me look like it was the ocean, and the way we had to turn in our song so early, bro. So like usually I can turn in my song like the week of the fight or the week before the fight, walkout song, but Heidi hit us up like 6 weeks out. It's like, hey, we need you guys walkout song now because we're trying to do something. And then that was what they did. The lights that was on the chairs that all the guys had, they made it go to the song. Like they made mine look like the ocean, so it was like wavy. But then Justin's one was sick because like every time the beat hit, the lights on the stuff went up and like whatever. I was like, whoa, that's cool. So
what was Justin's walkout song?
I forget, but it was a really good song, bro. I liked it. It's a really good song.
Yeah, there's some banger walkout songs, man. But Peloton, when that motherfucker walks out,
I didn't even hear it. Is it crazy?
He's the scariest motherfucker when he walks out because he stands there. He walks out like this.
Yeah, I know.
And then he stands
I never hear the song.
He draws the bow back and goes, ah! And then he throws a couple of punches.
Yeah.
Like, oh
he does his one two, bro. So you know what is funny? You know, I don't know if you ever watched that kid of like he mimics fights or fighters. Yeah, that kid. So he was at the press conference, bro. And the whole fucking press conference, I've seen him, and he's trying the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, bro. The whole time he got busted from a security guard to sit down, but the whole time that I watched him, he was throwing it. I was like, bro, that kid is crazy.
Have you seen Mighty Mouse do everybody?
No.
Mighty Mouse, there's a video of Mighty Mouse where they face swap him.
I called him out. I said, why didn't you make mine? He's like, oh, bro, I got you the next one.
Yeah, he can do everybody.
Yeah, he was good.
But he mimics everyone's style. He does Khabib, he does Conor, he does Cejudo, he does everybody.
Bro, he's a beast, man.
Mighty Mouse is the GOAT.
He's a man.
When I say the best martial artist that I've ever seen in terms of like the expression of martial arts, he's my favorite. It's him.
He's the bro. If you don't have him on top of your MMA Rush Mount War, whatever it is.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Yeah. I think of my son when I said Rush. Mount Rushmore. But if you don't have him on it, you're just a hater.
Yeah, you have to be a hater.
Yeah, everybody keep talking about like even that. Like everybody keep talking about like, oh, he's only 125. I was
no. Okay,
what? See, it blinked.
I'm noticing those names on the system. Oh.
What is that?
I had this thing going too.
Oh, so here's show the Mighty Mouse one because that's incredible. So here's Mighty Mouse pretending to be Cejudo. So they switch what Strickland. No, it looks exactly like him.
Oh,
it's crazy.
McGregor, that is good, bro.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Mighty Mouse. He does Adesanya too?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Wow. You hear Yuri Prohaska's talking about going down to 85?
Is he?
Yeah. He apparently didn't cut any weight for that fight.
Yeah, me and him is managed by the same guy, and that's what I heard too.
He's a wild boy.
Bro, did you not see that he was outside of UFC 300?
Yeah, at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, outside of UFC 300, T-Mobile, yeah.
Yeah,
and the fans are looking scared as hell.
That dude's real.
Bro, he's so cool, bro. Bro, did you not see? He just freaking won he's the other one that won the 200 bonus, right? And then the first post, I'm back home. I'm in my hut. How are we doing, guys? Like, he actually lives in that hut in the forest.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Bro, he works out punching trees. Dude's out there throwing front kicks at trees and shit.
The guy is unreal, bro. The guy is unreal, bro.
Animal. He's in there because Rakic was putting it on him, man. And he was just melting Rakic.
Bro, they some big dudes. So, like, all fight week, when I went to the PI, Rakic was me, Rakic, and Heel. And these guys are some big guys, bro. I'm like, holy shit, you guys some big dudes.
Yeah, they're huge. And Yuri at 185 would be terrifying. He's got such a crazy style, man. I mean, there's no one that fights like that guy. Like, if you saw his silhouette, you would be able to tell instantly that's Prohaska.
Yeah. But he does have
hands down, chin forward. You know, the fucking crazy hair.
Yeah, he's
the samurai bun.
Bro, he's just bro. That samurai spirit, bro. Yeah. It's not a facade.
No, he really.
Like a lot of guys think so. Yeah. No, he's like, and he's a real bro. He's a real nice guy. Like, you ever talk story to him?
Yeah, I've talked to him.
Bro,
yeah.
He's so nice. He's
very nice.
He's very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Like his tone is very. I'm good, brother.
Yeah.
Like, bro, he's almost like, he's like the guy that you call to go kill somebody for you. Hitman, you know? He's like, I need a hitman. Okay, brother, I got you.
Yeah, exactly. So that fight was a wild fight too. It's like there's so many fights that got lost. The fight, your fight, especially that knockout, was so crazy that people forgot that you fucked Dustin up the first part of the 5th round. Like, I kind of forgot about it until I watched it again. I was like, oh yeah, he had him almost out.
Yeah, almost hurt him.
Yeah,
almost hurt him, but you know.
Oh, you hurt him.
Even when I called my dad, you know, you're gonna love this one. But then I went like this, and then when I was flirting him, in every round, every time I hurt him, I'd come in, I'd do a little bit, and if it didn't put him down or hurt him more, I just backed off. And everybody's like, why is he not attacking? Why is he not attacking? I'm like, brother. Every time I heard him, he had the craziest look in his eyes. And one time he said, let's get it on. So I was okay, you know. I was like, nah, I'm okay, brother. I'm here. I'm going to keep picking you, you know. But he did. But all jokes aside, he did have the craziest look in his eyes. It was crazy. Like, I was hurt. I was like, why are you even standing there? You know? And then I just think, you're right. You're Justin Gaethje. You're a freaking highlight, you know. So,
this is a wild shit. Don't make plans.
know what I mean? How the hell did he get led into Wakanda? It's not a very Wakanda mindset, you know?
There's one thing that has come up that I think we probably should talk about, and it's the Maheda Jamal Hill knockout. And it's an interesting thing that was brought up, and I didn't think anything of it at the time. And then I watched it again. I was like, there's kind of a point there. And the point is, Jamal accidentally hits him low, like kicks him in the hip, and Herb Dean comes in to stop it, and then does the super gangster thing. But in the meantime, Jamal has stopped and relaxed, through the kick. He gives him a thumbs up, like, you cool? And then Pajeda advances. And then Herb is to the left. So it's like you can't even move too much to the left. And all of a sudden he's on him. And I think Jamal is saying, I would have never let him that close to me if it wasn't for that nut shot. And I didn't know exactly what was going on. So Herb had stopped it. Herb is out of his field of vision. Herb is over here. So when Herb's doing this, I don't know what he said. I don't know if Herb... Let's see if we can watch it.
I know what you're saying, because even there, like, he stands there and, like, kind of like half like touch gloves with him, right? And then like, and Alex is like, you didn't step in, see it, and then Alex chose the left foot. Yeah. Oh, that's the old boxing trick,
Old boxing trick. Southpaw, unorthodox, yeah. So he steps on his front foot and then hits him with that left hook from Alex. His left hook is a crazy weapon, man.
The thing doesn't even look like it. Tell me not. It just looks like, and then when, did you not see the jolt that it sent down his body? Yeah, he almost did was he the one that knocked out Yeah. He almost did the Johnny Walker, like, his body, like, kind of extended. That was kind of crazy.
Crazy. Wow. And his glancing.
Glancing, brother. And it was like was even a hook, was like a upper shovel.
Like a Mexican. The way he lands it,
you don't give a shit.
The fight that he got before he fought in the UFC, did you ever see that one? No. It's the most vicious left hook knockout, man. He hits a dude with a high kick, the guy blocks it, he steps, the guy stabs, whack! He just cleanly, he's got that long frame, he's so long, and there's all this torque, and he just torques his whole body and whips it across. It sounds like a baseball bat hitting a watermelon. Whack! The dude just drops.
How are people just have that kind of power, right?
It's crazy. The machine. 191.
How much are you spinning back kick on? Did you kick?
I never kicked with a spinning back kick. But with a roundhouse kick, I got to 152. But the difference between 190 with one punch. Yeah. Here it is. Now let's back it up again because let's make the argument. Let's see what happens. So go all the way to the nut shot. So here's the nut shot. So now I watch Jamal. Jamal stops. Watch his legs step. His legs lock up. He's relaxed. He comes up. Be cool. And then he touches Herb. So now they're back at it. So Pajeda has never relaxed. So this time has gone on. We're doing it in slow motion, right? Let's do it in real time. So here we see this. So, the fight has to restart. Would that position have taken place if it wasn't for Jamal relaxing, giving him the thumbs up?
So like, not his fight. So my fight, the number one thing when I was going with Justin was just be on all the time.
Right.
Like just fucking max. Like, I was just in the back of myself, mentally, physically, you need to be here.
Right.
Every millisecond, brother.
Which is a crazy thing.
Because one millisecond off, lights can turn off, Max. You need to be on. So that was the main thing that I was telling myself the whole fight, like, with that, like, if I was in a situation, I don't give a fuck. I would have told her, motherfucker, are we going? Like, I would have been like, come on. Like, I still would have been ready, like, it's protect yourself at all times,
There is a weird millisecond where no one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And when Pajeda is still moving forward.
But Pajeda is in, look at Pajeda. He's, that millisecond, he's still like, he's going to borneo your ass.
So watch it again. So the low kick, and then as Jamal, stop it, go all the way from the beginning, watch this. So when Jamal lands the kick, he touches him, and then he makes. Look at the distance he closes.
Yeah. Oh
see
yeah. Look how close
distance?
right there. Yeah.
He
Look how close
closed
he
the
is.
distance,
Yeah.
but back it up again. So you see the distance that Jamal's maintaining initially. Then he throws the kick. Now watch this. They pause.
Look how
Jamal
far, yeah.
thumbs up.
Yeah, yeah.
But Pereira has closed the gap now.
Right there. Go. Yeah. Look how close he is.
He's
too,
closed the gap a lot more than
Yeah.
Jamal probably would have let him. Now, it's a mistake by Jamal.
Yeah.
Protect yourself at all times.
Yeah.
But also, it does seem like there's a moment of confusion.
There is.
Because he does close that distance.
He does, bro. He
Significantly.
does.
It's like a double step. Watch. From here to there.
Yeah. He
See
hops.
that?
He hops into it. Yeah. Look right there. Hop.
Yeah. And now you're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
That's fucking Kenny Rogers or Kenny Loggins. Highway to the danger zone. And so once he does that little hop in, he takes advantage of that moment to close the gap. So he doesn't stop when Herb stops him. He closes, when he puts Herb on, he closes the
He
gap.
closes this and then to
Yes.
Oh, during the
So
whole
watch
time.
it, watch it. It's this.
Yeah, right.
So he touches it, he hop goes the distance, while Jamal's legs are straight.
Yeah.
So Jamal gives him the thumbs up and Pereira had a double hop. In that time.
Yeah. And Jamal didn't know.
Yeah, this is a real moment. Now, I'm not making any excuses for Jamal. And Jamal can take a loss as good as anybody. And after the Paul Craig fight, he's like, got me, this is it. But he's got a point here. It's not a perfect point because they had engaged again. I know. Pereira had closed that gap to a point where Jamal was not letting him do that early.
But then again, like, playing devil advocate, nothing but love for Jamal, but fuck, bro, you need to be locked in there.
You need to be
Who the fuck
locked in.
cares? Like another dangerous man, a man across you that you guys land one good shot, you guys both can put each other away. It's like, I don't know, bro, because at the end of the day,
it's a mistake on his part.
Yeah, it is. But then with her, like, it sucks, Like, how much times do we hear a freaking judge or even a ref screwing up the fight? You know what I mean? So it's like you need to, like, anybody, fighters, amateur level, pro level, the best fighters in the world, whatever it is, don't put it in your eyes. I mean, it's easier said than done, but don't leave it. Like it's just tough. Yeah, just be aware. Like you do have a third man in there. They are supposed to be looking out for you, but how much time do we see where sometimes that's just not the case, or it's just too early. So at the end of the day, it sucks. But what you gonna do there? You know what I mean? Like all we're gonna do is we're gonna have this kind of talks and arguments and arguments and stuff. And nothing's gonna get changed.
But here's the question, like, what is the protocol? When a referee steps in and says stop
They should,
because there's a low.
even with him telling him stop, the protocol should have been like, okay,
separate.
Okay, whatever. Go back to the middle. Like, you're pushing against the cage, whatever. And we saw you hop. Okay, you want me to stop? Back up a little bit. Let me go. He needs to still go in the middle a little bit. Okay. You can't be like get stopped and then you go fight here because if what's his name, Jamal couldn't. I can understand, like, in his peripherals, like, he's just focused, and then maybe stuff gets fight, and I'm just focused on you, like, okay, what's going on,
Right. There's definitely an argument that if you're going to stop the fight momentarily, even if you're going to restart, you have to understand that the momentum is things change. And if one guy does this and hops in during that time, you kind of have to step and separate them and then engage. So he does engage, he goes off to the side.
Yeah.
But now the
That's what I'm
argument
saying,
against that I've heard is that this happens all the times where fighters get kicked and the referee says, hold on, the fighter says, I'm fine, and then they let him keep going. So maybe that's a good argument too, that Jamal should have been more prepared. But it seems like he had actually told them to stop, and that's when Jamal did this. So it's like, or excuse me, Alex did this. So is that up to the fighter? What are the rules?
Yeah, what are the rules?
Moment?
Yeah.
Like when the referee says stop, are the fighters allowed to say, no, I'm fine? Or are they supposed to address the referee and say, I'm fine?
Look,
and
he
then
said time.
He says time, and he puts his hand up, and now where's Herb Dean? Herb Dean moves away. Jamal does not have eyes on him.
Yeah, he's looking at him all the time because he's not trying to get cracked.
Jamal does it, but Alex is much closer to him now.
Yeah, he's much closer, and nobody. But look at the angle that he takes too. Like Alex is straight cut. He's cutting off the cage there.
Yeah,
bro.
he's cutting
like
off
right
the
here.
cage.
You're pushing him to his right to cut off the cage, bro. Look.
And Herb is right to Jamal's left.
Yeah, look at that. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
That guy's a monster. I was telling everybody about that guy when he was in Glory.
I remember.
When they were saying he was coming over to the UFC, I was like, I told DC, I go, dude, get ready for this motherfucker. Because this motherfucker puts people into orbit.
Brother.
He's got crazy power.
Brother, the wormholes, bro. Universes, different universes.
You wake up on the other side of the galaxy.
Brother, he might have. Actually, you know, since we're talking about Wakanda, he might be like a Doctor Strange guy. He might have the ring on, bro. Look underneath his glove or something. That's what's happening, bro.
Well, what he is a real Amazon warrior. Like, that's his gene.
Yeah, you see him, bro. You see him go back to his village?
Yeah.
All painted up and stuff, like a leopard?
Yeah, bro.
Bro, guy's a G, bro. He's a G.
He's the real deal. He's the real deal.
He's a man.
How the fuck was he ever making 185 is the big question. And how much do you think that compromised his chin when he went down?
A lot, bro. So the thing is, you know what is crazy? You know,
here's the walk.
This, yeah.
Look at his foot. Bro, that shit is terrifying. Look at his eyes, man. And everybody just and he told Jamal, when I make my walk in, then you'll think about all these things you said.
Yeah, he did.
Ha! And the whole audience yells out, "Ha!" with him. Look at Jamal, though.
He caught the. Did you see it in the other angle? He caught the arrow. He broke it.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Jamal was telling me when I talked to him about it. He said he feels like he was winning that fight. He said he was implementing his strategy. He landed that one good right hook in the first round, and he felt like he was on his way. He felt like he was doing everything he wanted to do, not letting that dude get close, but that thing fucked him up.
Yeah, I mean
there's a real moment there.
That's a sport, right? That's a sport, right? Like, you know what's funny, brother? You know, like, you know, nothing to Jamal, whatever. But what is crazy is that when I read, I see comments or I see people talking about our fight, and like guys like bringing up like, oh yeah, just imagine if Justin didn't break his nose, it would have been a whole different fight. I'm like, well, thank the Lord I land my spinning back kick because his nose is broken. You know what I mean?
Imagine if you didn't knock him out.
Yeah. Oh, or just imagine if I broke my ankle walking into the freaking octagon. Brother, there's so much stuff. I'm like, what are you, like, people are so crazy. I'm like, oh my God, like, just enjoy it. Why can't you guys enjoy it? Or why can't you guys have other people have stuff, you know? Like, why can't we have nice stuff? This is why we can't have good things.
Again, it's just losers, you know? You think Michael Jordan's leaving YouTube comments? No.
Oh,
he's
brother,
not.
never.
It's winners don't have time for that shit. But that's also part of the game.
Yeah,
you know, you're going to have to deal with those people.
It is art,
but
bro.
That, how anybody can say, imagine if you didn't land something that you landed, that you planned for, that you executed. That's very hard to pull off.
Yeah.
A spinning back kick where you're literally right in front of each other like that, and you landed to his face.
Yeah, bro. We knew he was gonna duck. He was looking for the time, you know.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. And it was such a great moment on that night because that night was magical.
Bro, UFC 3. My head is still not wrapped around it. You know, like how you said, how do I feel? I don't know how I feel yet because it's still not right. Like, to have that to be one of the guys it started from all the way outside the fight, brother. Somebody asked me to get the belt wrapped around Mark Coleman. Like when they asked me who I think, and then I said Mark Coleman. You know, I'm like, oh, he's the guy. His house with his fires and stuff just happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's the man. And then to it being UFC 300, to us getting asked, oh, what about how much should the freaking bonuses be? And I'm freaking screaming, 300K. And Dustin and freaking Dana to be like, 300K. I was like, holy shit. And then to win both the bonuses, it was just crazy. And then to have like you said, bro, that's a movie finish, bro. To hit him with an it was like a David versus Goliath kind of story going against him, you know, and then to hit him with that overhand is like me hitting him with the slingshot, you know.
Yeah.
So, and the Rock at the perfect place, perfect time, the perfect, bro. This is UFC 300. Nobody's an event getting put together. This is not gonna top nothing until 400, and we don't even know if 400 is gonna top it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But
it's
then,
gonna be almost impossible to top that. Like every card after that, you look at the card, you're like, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Bro, I know,
That
it's
card was
crazy.
insane.
It's crazy. And then a lot of people, and then, bro, Dana White he's the ultimate troll, bro. I love Dana White, them when they troll people, you saw the
When he
video?
made the video, yeah.
Yeah, brother, when he saw the video, he's calling out, you know how much people on top of that video, too, also did videos of me talking about how I was, like, undergun and Pillow Holloway, Pillow Hands Holloway is gonna get killed, and I am gonna be the Tony 2.0, whatever. I was like, brother, you guys just watch, and all their tones change, and now they're making money off of me. I should go write them all money and be like, hey, brother, you owe me 10% of YouTube freaking chilling.
长老怎么会放外面的人进来？
Takes where they know what's going to happen. It's such a stupid thing to do. You don't know what's going to happen. You can talk about someone's strengths.
Opinion, yeah. You can talk about. You can have an opinion, but when people say stuff like that, I'm like, bro, that's crazy.
It's just dumb. It's just dumb. You know, you should talk about someone's skills and what they can do, and this could be a factor, and that could be a factor. But to say this is going to happen, that is folly. That's a stupid way to look at things. There's not a chance in hell that you know when two world-class martial artists fight.
Yeah,
there's no chance.
All the time.
Yeah, there's no chance you know. I saw a lot of people doing that with the fight this past weekend with Devin Haney.
Oh,
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan, yeah.
Everybody was counting out Ryan Garcia. So many people.
Oh, did you see how much he bet on himself?
$2 million. He
Well,
won
how
$2 million.
can we do that on ourselves?
What did he
the
win?
hell?
How much did he win?
12 million.
So he bet $2 million to win 12 million.
12 million,
Oh
and
my
he paid
God.
he paid $2.1 million in fees. So he won 10 million. So
I
he
think
paid.
he paid 1.5 in fees because he's 3 pounds
so
over,
he
right?
he paid 1.5 to
Devin
David
Haney.
to Haney because he
Yeah.
said 500 every weight, right? Every
Yeah.
pound, and then he had to pay and the extra 600 or 500 to the commission.
Wow.
So that's what. So it's like $2.1 million he had to, bro. And
So-
he's like, and he bet himself. He's like, bro, I don't give a shit.
That's
I
a
got
wild
$2 million
boy.
bet. Yeah, good
That's
for
a
him.
wild boy. Dude, that left hook he has is a thing of
It's
beauty.
fast, bro. It's so fast, bro.
So fast.
It's so fast, bro, and it's so fast and it hits so hard because even did you see the way Haney or not only Haney, but every time he lands it on anybody, they're like,
They go, whoa.
yeah, they're getting like shocked.
It comes at you so much faster than other punches. It reminds me a lot of Roy Jones in his prime.
Yeah.
Like Roy Jones Jr. in his prime barely threw jabs, which is so crazy that a guy would be so fast that he
so
could hit you with a leaping left
Yeah,
hook.
because his jab was a leaping left hook.
It's crazy. You ever seen his biceps? The
Yeah,
difference?
yeah.
His left bicep's twice the size of his right bicep. It's nuts.
He might have been an arm wrestler then. Who knows?
Roy Jones had the craziest style of all time. When he was in his prime, that dude was untouchable.
Bro,
Every fight was
crazy.
an execution.
Bro, crazy. Body head bangers, bro. He was a.
He was
bro.
so fast. He was the only guy in CompuBox history that didn't get a single punch landed on him in a round.
For real?
Yeah. When he
Oh,
fought Vinny Pazienza. Didn't get a single punch
Boom,
landed
jump
on
left
him.
hook in. That's all he
And
did.
then he just put it on him. And then he tried to stop the fight himself. He looked at the referee. He's like, stop this fight. And the referee's like, keep fighting. And he's like, all right. And he goes like that. He does like that. And he just tunes him up and KOs him.
Bro, what a beast, bro. What a beast.
But that left hook is a weapon. If you got a left hook like Ryan Garcia, like, my God, that thing's fast.
Ryan at freaking Pereira.
But
Like, what
how
is
smart
going
is Javante for making him go to 135 and then giving him a weight clause?
Brother,
like you can't rehydrate more than 10 pounds.
Who's behind him? Who's behind him, brother? The Money Mayweather. That guy is smart, bro.
Yeah.
That guy is a businessman. These guys are businnesmen. You know, like it is
Same
what it
thing
is.
that Floyd did to Canelo.
Yeah, same exact thing.
Yeah.
And it was more, you know what's more funny? Canelo them played into his game and said, "No, you know what? We'll come down to this weight." He didn't ask. He was gonna give them the extra 5, but then with a weight clause, and they said, "Oh, you what? You want to come here? You can come here and a weight clause."
Yeah.
Bro, those guys. He's a businessman, bro, and you got to respect it. You know.
Yes, you have to. And for Gervonta, that was perfect because I would love to see Ryan Garcia, the one that we saw fully hydrated against Devin Haney, against Gervonta.
Oh, he's a problem. Bro. He's gonna be a problem
for
bro.
everybody.
He's gonna be a problem, bro.
Speed is bananas.
Yeah.
You ever see him shadowbox, like throw
Oh
combinations?
yeah,
in? It's
bro.
like,
Oh yeah.
is this
Oh,
sped
yeah.
up?
Oh,
How
yeah.
are you so fast?
Yeah. It's not fair.
He might have one of the fastest left hooks I've ever seen.
For sure.
I mean, it's right up there with everybody all the great left hookers of the past.
But the crazy thing is, like, bro, he don't even bring it out. He just goes from right here.
Right there,
Pa!
whip, like a whip.
And, and just kills guys.
It has so much power from short distance, just nothing. just turns it over.
Yeah.
And he can hit you with multiple ones in a row.
Pop, pop, pop. Hey, he just keep throwing left hooks. He don't even believe in jabs.
And the funny thing was the troll job. Like he was
Bro.
on.
Bro, when he talked about, I just saw the interview the other night.
He
when
did
talked
Patrick
about,
Bet David.
Yeah, when he did he's like, yeah, you know that one interview? I was like, doing all that stuff. People thought I was crazy. I was like, bro, I don't give a shit. I was like, whoa. I was like, wow. I was like, this guy's, bro, he should be an actor.
Yeah, he really had a smart strategy. Act like he was crazy.
Act like he was crazy. Come in 3 pounds heavy, and just bro, he sold it all the way to getting into that, bro.
I bet him coming in 3 pounds heavy made the line move more towards Haney.
Oh, I'm sure. Like this guy's not training.
Yeah, he's out of shape. He didn't prepare. He's crazy. He's mentally unstable.
Yeah. Joke's on you, brother. He laughed straight to the bank.
And there was some bad refereeing in that fight too, because there was 2 knockdowns,
2 drops, and it didn't count. That was crazy.
Real bad. Those were 2 legitimate knockdowns in a round where he already knocked him down once. So he knocked him down 3 times in that fight.
Wouldn't that have been like a TKO already?
I don't know if they had a 3 knockdown rule. It wasn't for the title, right? Because Devin gets to keep the title.
So I think so. It was he keep the title, but even
weight.
if he win, I think so. He still he would have had the. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, but fuck the title. The title, like that's crazy. Keeping that title's crazy.
Yeah. After did you, bro? You know what's more crazy? There's a post of him being like, "Yeah, I still got the title." I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think. Yeah, I would.
Well, he's just trying to come up with some sort. I mean, he got humiliated.
Yeah.
I mean, he got humbled.
It sucks, bro. This fight game is wild, bro.
It's a wild game.
It's the shit. It's the most craziest game ever, brother.
Most ruthless game.
You be on top of the world one day,
Yeah.
and a fight like that, you're just no one even cares, you know, anymore.
Yep. Yeah.
It's crazy.